Welcome back to Film Club. We're a day late, but a special day because I've noticed every time we've done the 9th, last year it was Zulu. This year, Sergeant York.
Wow.
So around Remembrance Sunday, we get a war movie
You
for
have
some
a war
reason.
film. That's
There
so
we
nice.
go. But how you
it was a year ago? That's blowing my mind.
Yeah,
wow.
There we go. Yeah. How are you guys?
I'm good. No complaints. I'm doing well.
Yeah,
Really well. It's a good weekend and a good weekend to remember. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Yeah. Just to let you know, Jake gave us a warning backstage. If you hear him screaming for joy, he's Patriots
or anguish.
They just let up a touchdown that I'm not too happy with. So you never know. If you hear any weird noises from my side, it's just because I'm watching the Patriots game.
What period?
It's
what do you call it?
Winding down in the third quarter right now. So about a quarter and 5 minutes left. Actually, I think a little less.
What's the score?
It's 21-16. I think about to be 17. They're about to score an extra point.
Dum. So we could hear swearing in the fourth.
Yeah, it's getting close. Yeah, closer than I'd like it to be.
Great. But so we have this one. Let's get rid of it before I do my little thing. Sergeant York. I said one of my top favorite films. Jay, you hadn't seen it?
No, this was the first time watch.
Yeah, so Gary Cooper for 1941, a 40-year-old playing I'm guessing late 20s, 30-year-old.
Like a 24-year-old. He would have been 24. Okay, little tiny bit older for the average. I think the average inductee was 22, so he was just like 2 years older. But yeah, so, playing young.
Now, Sandy, you've read the book. I'm guessing there's is it a biography book or a
diary? The book is based on his diary, and a diary he kept during the war, as well as then he later wrote down his life story.
Now, how many times are we going to have a clicker for in the book? Because I'm guessing this is I
have a strategy.
It's a propaganda movie. This one.
It is quite a propaganda movie.
This is a 19 full. I can't remember. Like they probably started a little bit early because of what was happening in Europe, but then when the Americans realized, we're gonna have to press the go button and go soon, Hollywood kind of got told you need to find some good, kind of patriotic stories to get the rallying up. It's so this is right on the nose of that. And I forgot how I said I one of my favorite movies. I always forget how long this movie is. It's actually for that time period. It's actually a good length movie.
I was kind of shocked by the length of it when I saw the time. I didn't expect it to be. I think about 2 hours, 15 minutes, something like that.
The reason movie. So much of the film is about his life before the war. 3/4 of the film is before the war, and that mirrors the story in the book that he tells. But I do have a strategy. This story, like a few others that we've had, it obviously draws some very tall tales for the purposes of the screen. But it omits some things that actually would have been even more dramatic. And maybe Hollywood said, oh my God, that real story, that's even too, it beggars belief. It's even too outlandish. So we're not even going to put that in there. So we'll hit a few of those. Yes, I will have to say in the book. But maybe what I'll do, and I said I had a strategy, I think what I'll do is to say in real life instead of in the book, because the book is his diary.
Okay, we need a new score chart. Somebody in chat's going to have to do that then for us. But before we go, I'm just got a little reel and something else as it's Remembrance Sunday over here in the UK. So bear with us. We're going to going to back for it in a couple of minutes, and then we're going to dive into the movie of Sergeant York.
End of World War I and return to his Tennessee home of America's outstanding doughboy, the redoubtable Sergeant York. The sergeant, born and raised here in Pall Mall, Tennessee, came from a typical backwoods family. His mother is proud of his accomplishments. And Brother Robert gets a German helmet as a souvenir. The sergeant's aunts, Nancy, Sarah, and Ann, pure early American. A second elder in this church, Sergeant York was a conscientious objector during the early stages of World War I, but when he got into action, he killed 25 Germans single-handed and captured 132, including a major and 3 lieutenants, and is credited with putting 35 enemy machine guns out of action. Nothing backwoods about this backwoods boy, America's #1 World War I hero. This is Sergeant York.
There you go. Just a little Remembrance Sunday and for Sergeant York. But that was from the Sergeant York reel I found from the New York Archives site. So yeah, that was
Very nice.
That was wonderful. That was really nice.
There we go. So, and I think this is where the film goes in when you get to the war bit. It doesn't really have the impact of war, I suppose, really, of how it was really in the trenches, especially for the Americans.
Mm-hmm.
Especially filming it in studio, which
Mm.
and I think obviously we have to give that a little bit of grace, right? But it's difficult to look at the ground and then you kind of look in the background and it's obviously painted scenery, and yeah, it's a little difficult to get the impact there.
But I'm guessing also we need to try and get people to support and get sent to the Second World War. Of course,
Yeah.
this is propaganda for. You don't want to make it too brutal.
No.
Like that, do you?
No.
Yeah, I guess right, fair enough.
Yeah, you're like, no, it's look, you can. I'm guessing what they're trying to say is like you can be from anywhere, be anybody. Your life could be set a certain way, and you could come back a hero. I'm guessing. Now I do like that I did say a clip in the movie, but even in that reel, what's a backwoods people?
Yeah.
It's like I love it. It's like the things. I'm guessing it's just the very polite way of saying was it original Americans, or what is it? What are the old free ladies who've still got
Said the old aunties, I think original settlers or original
yeah,
Americans.
the original Americans. It's like, yes, in other words, they don't have running water or anything like. And I think this comes across in the movie. Now, Sandy, you're going to have to be hopefully our historian, very much so, because I say the movie sets up. Where is the Three Forks of the Wolf?
It is in Tennessee. So Tennessee is a beautiful state. Let's that's not even hyperbole. Tennessee is a beautiful state, and it's kind of long and narrow, and many mountain ranges cut through it. So you've got the Appalachians, the Blue Ridge. So there's all these valleys, hills and valleys, and the Cumberland, valley. In the film, you hear him talking about the land he wants to buy is bottom land. And there's even a conversation about how is it that you people on the bottom look down on us people at the top, because the cheaper land was on the mountain. You saw the difficulty he had plowing on the rocks. When the land you have, the cheap land, is up the mountain, you get these beautiful views where you see him kind of contemplating his fate on the side of the mountain, but it's not good for farming. And so the people who have land down in the valley, and here the Valley of the Three Forks, that's the more valuable farmland because it's easier to work that land. So really beautiful part of Tennessee. But they even talk about, there's even a comment when that salesman is coming through, like, it took him days to get here. Well, you're not Daniel Boone. Daniel Boone, he was an explorer. He could climb through the mountains, and it was rugged territory. And you had to be hardy people to live there. As the settlers kind of landed in New York and in Baltimore, Port of Baltimore was the second most popular port for immigrants. Those from Ireland, Scotland, and England kept making their way further over into the mountains and the valleys. Those Scotch Irish, as they call it, were like the ones to really settle there. The Hatfields and the McCoys, that's not too far from where he is. Whereas the Germans kind of tended to stay in the cities on the East Coast. The Scots and the Irish went into those valleys and into those mountains. And you can't tell by the black and white film here, or by Gary Cooper here, but Alvin York in real life had flaming red hair.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. No kidding.
Yeah. Sorry, you said history. I went on and on.
So no, that's fine. I think this is going to help. Well, I must say, before that thing, I was very surprised. I must notice it. You have God Save the King. Like that. And you notice that the music is like, the music goes into, like, you have Yankee Doodle Dandy like that, but then it turns into Britannia, and I'm like, what is going on?
We rewrote those songs when we beat you. We took your music too, and your God Save the King is our My Country 'Tis of Thee.
Mm-hmm.
And until I was like much older, because in grade school I had learned My Country 'Tis of Thee, sweet land of liberty. And you guys are singing, God Save.
I was about to get up and start saluting. I was like, oh God, what's going on?
I thought about that. I totally thought about that when I was hearing.
Yeah, but we have Britannia's in there. It's very like, there is some very old British very military things. Colonials, bloody hell, can't get their own music.
I know.
Mess up the language.
We just improve everything. That's all.
That's what it is.
So our first scene is what was it? 1916? Is it 16? Yes, 1916. So we're in 1916. So we know the war in Europe is going on, but this, I'm guessing, a very small, not even a town, like very small, if it's like a village or town in Tennessee, and everybody, of course, is churchgoers. And then we just get the pastor, I'm getting into that, or what would you call him? He's right.
He's the pastor, the head pastor, preacher, pastor.
Pastor,
I'd probably call him eyebrows, because my word, he's got one hell of a set of eyebrows.
You kind of want to get and pluck in them, don't you? Like,
it's like giant caterpillars. Never seen anything like it.
For real.
But yeah, so whilst he's doing his sermon, of course, out we get like this guy. I love that. He keeps on getting disturbed. He's like, he's like, just sit down.
Like, just do it all at once, man. Get to your seat.
Just like, come on, just get to your seat. Damn it. It's like, so, but whilst we get that, we get then our first look, but we don't know who he is, of Alvin York and his buddies who been drinking.
Oh, I didn't actually catch that. I was wondering who these three were. I didn't catch that this was actually York. Okay.
Yeah, you get a very
catch
quick
that at first.
Yeah, literally him.
There you go.
Who, they're making a ruckus outside of the church on, I'm guessing it's a Sunday, so because everybody's there except for these there. So he would be what, 20, what do you say, 22, Sandy?
Yeah, I mean at this time probably 21 or 22 at this point in time, and his father passed away when Alvin was, I think, 11. And so he's had to be the man of the family for a while. By the way, in real life, not in the book, in real life, he had 10 brothers and sisters, not just one brother and one sister. So in the film, they're showing, I forget the name. I forget the names of the kids. Gracie is the girl, and George is the boy. Yeah, but they're not showing the other 8 siblings. He was one of 11. And so, he had to, be the farmer, and, along with his other siblings, of course. But he was a hellion. He kind of blew off steam by drinking. That's what they did. Drinking and shooting. That's what they did.
That's it. But so they get a bit annoyed because all they can hear is the fire. It's like, if you want to go and get him, you can go and get him. Like that. So they all kind of start a little posse, don't they? Until like they look at the shooting like that. So even it's your Alvin to his mum, which is Mother York, isn't she? I don't think we get a name.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, Mother, isn't it? Yeah, where he's.
I think it's Margaret. It's going to be. I think in real life. I'm sorry. In real life, it's Margaret. But yeah, I don't think they say it in the film. And
he's fired his initials into. That would be some good grouping. Even that. Alvin.
So you know why? Do you know what that reference is?
What's that? Sorry.
They show it a little later in the film. There is a famous tree in that area where Daniel Boone did carve.
Oh, yes.
Daniel Boone killed a bar, not a bear, a bar here in, whatever it said, 1860, whatever the date was. And so Alvin thought, like, okay, Daniel Boone did that. So my calling card is going to be shooting my initials into trees. And that is a real thing that he did.
Like old day graffiti.
Yeah, a little dangerous.
It is, a
little bit dangerous,
especially after drinking. So they're off with their little songs, off their merry way, like that. And then of course we get this guy who kind of comes and goes. I'm guessing he's like Union Pacific or something, like Western Union or something. He keeps on coming up with the post, doesn't he? It seems like he turns up when the post is arriving.
Because there's going to be news. He's going to be bringing the news, and then eventually he's going to be bringing the draft letter.
Yeah, but then he goes into. I do like this little scene, like at the thing, because the pastor isn't just the pastor; he's also he owns the warehouse. Like everybody owns the shopkeeper. Yeah. He's kind of like does everything. It's funny. So. Yeah, but whilst we're getting that, we have our traveling salesman who's I'm guessing trying to go to these back in the middle of nowhere little villages to sell the latest fashions, but he also has the latest news, doesn't he?
That's right.
So he's whilst he's trying to say he's like he's a way of what's going on, and you get the newspaper, and I like this. Really, I do. They
didn't even look at the front page. They're just like going inside. They don't even look at the front page.
But I do like this kind of back. He's trying to explain. Bob, don't you realize what's going on? And they're like, does it bother us? Does it matter? Does it who's this? What is going on? We're from, we're Tennessee people. Why does it matter? And I like that. And he there's a bit of more like he gets his up suddenly, like I think like that. He's like, come on. And he's like, they just don't care. They just don't care.
Nope.
They've got their way of life. Let's say that isn't the politest way. And even when they're reading, I do like it in the movie. Like everybody gathers round because one person can read. So it's blatantly that he's reading the newspaper, and he's probably not that great a reader, but he's he fashions out the news as best he can with around the I suppose the meeting places, the local warehouse shop. It sells everything.
Mhm.
That's it. So
The
I do
general
like.
store. It's why they
yeah.
were called general stores, because they did everything there. And you'll even notice out front of the shop, you'd also see the sign that said "and United States Post Office." So those shops were they sold everything. You could, trade things. The post office was there. It might have been a bank as well. It could have been the pharmacy. The pharmacist could have been the doctor. It was just everything in these, in these small towns. You relied on certain people for more than one job. So your barber was your dentist, and your postmaster was your preacher in this case.
Yeah. And then they're starting to talk about Alvin. Like they're making out he's a bit of a the local hooligan, let's say that, the black sheep, let's say, of the town. And where his mother turns up, and we get some back and forth with her and the preacher. It's just like, she's just going about her daily life, like she's her husband's gone, it's got the family thing, but she's still, I don't care, I'm just here. She looks at the hat.
She's defensive of him, right?
Yeah.
She's defending him because she knows he's been taking care of the whole family. So she kind of doesn't mind that he blows off a little steam, but she really hopes that he finds a path. And she also hopes he finds God, she feels that that's the way he's going to straighten up and fly right, is through a little bit of religion.
And I do like this picture, the old kind of it's made out of brick though.
What
that
is
house looks
the thing on the left side? Is it a boulder? Is it a shrub? It looked like a big.
Oh yeah, huh?
I never even noticed that. Yeah,
what is this big ball of what? Is it a
perfectly
some
spherical something? I don't know what
awful
though.
set
I'm guessing it's on.
design?
I'm guessing it's on the lot, and they were like, we need a bush, and somebody went like this, and they went,
Well, we got this.
yeah.
Can I make it round? I mean,
yeah.
such
I've
an
never noticed that. Yeah, it's a bit
odd
odd.
looking thing on that set. And I'm sorry that was just distracting to me.
Yeah,
and I know I should not just this, but like the whole set design was just so distracting to me in this film. And I can't I'm trying to forgive and say, okay, it's 1941. Let's give it a break. But there are other films that did better, like.
I wonder how quick they shot this movie.
Oh yeah, and that's true.
Because they were pumping out.
Quick.
They were like, you got 2 weeks on lot.
Yeah.
Bang, 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 and go.
But we saw Sink the Bismarck, and I thought for that same period of time, it was pretty amazing. All Quiet on the Western Front, I think, is tremendous. But it's just the set design just got on my nerves, and I'm sorry to say.
So for me, it was hard for me to judge this because I keep putting it back in the idea of like, all right, this is the 40s. This is the 40s. You got to give it a break. You can't judge it now. And I haven't seen enough other black and whites to really kind of have that, bit of reference point that you have, Sandy. So I kind of chalked it up to, I guess, just at the time. So it's interesting to hear that, from your perspective.
Yeah, it didn't
was
give
still
me
a little weak
because I've seen some really bad ones.
And I have no frame of reference for good or bad of this era. To me, it all just kind of looks like it's this era.
Yeah, you get some really bad, like I'm gonna say it, westerns, like with John Wayne and all that kind of era, even Gary Cooper, where you just like, oh, they just didn't care. They just like, we're just gonna regurgitate the same set. Don't worry about it. Nobody pays that much attention. Did they know in 80 years time
We
we
do.
would?
Yeah, they know Film
We
Club was
do
going to
now.
happen.
Yeah.
Gonna be like, that's the same fence post I've seen.
It's the same giant ball from Sergeant
Yeah,
York.
with the giant ball.
There's probably people doing it, like that road was the same road they used in Halloween, and it's just like there's going to be people bigger.
Yeah.
Everybody knows. So we get out the family, and this is where's Alvin? Go get him.
And you notice he's got to take his coat and his gun to go get Alvin. It's going to be quite a hike for this kid. This kid's going to have to ride all the way to the border with Kentucky to go find his brother.
I do like that. Now, so this is going to be I must say, because I dealt, you're picking more when you do film club. This bit you're going to have to explain this bit. So he is on the Tennessee side, and he's from Tennessee, and he goes to order a drink, and of course you can't because you're on this side, and they have to cross the border. That is literally half done. Why? Explain.
Why? Because you couldn't buy liquor in Tennessee that was homemade, but you could buy homemade liquor in Kentucky. So several of these little saloons were built right on the border. There were also companies, entire towns that straddle either Kentucky and Tennessee, or Kentucky or Tennessee and Virginia, or North Carolina and Virginia. There are several in the South that have this going on. So the proprietor could be in Tennessee, right, and make the money as long as the sale occurred in Kentucky. And then you just came across the line to drink, and you could consume your liquor in Tennessee. You just couldn't purchase it. Another famous example of these strange laws around, moonshine and hooch and making your own liquor, has to do with the Jack Daniels factory itself. The Jack Daniels factory is located in a dry county. So you can make, what some would say is really iconic liquor, but you can't drink it. Because it's being made in a dry county. And, the sport of NASCAR today, the National Association of Stock Car Auto Racing, grew up out of moonshiners making their own liquor and getting it across whichever state line as fast as possible and modifying their cars in order to do so. And they'd race. And then they started not just going for the moonshine, but, betting with each other and racing to get from one place to another. And lo and behold, you got car racing coming out of it. So there's a lot of really cool history around that. It's not as nasty, bloody as Chicago during Prohibition. If you want to hear cool stories about, people trying to have a drink when it's not legal, check out the stories from the South in the United States versus, if you really want Al Capone in Chicago, go for it. But I think
it definitely makes for better movies, that's for sure.
Yeah. I mean, I think they're both really interesting stories, but it even carries still today. There are still dry counties, dry areas. It used to be here in Baltimore, the blue laws on Sunday. It actually meant no business could be transacted on a Sunday, not just selling liquor, but when I was little, stores were closed on Sundays because you couldn't have, any kind of sales. In Montgomery County, right down the street, liquor can only be sold at a county store. They're still called the ABC store, alcoholic beverage control store, the ABC stores. You can buy beer in a regular store. You can't buy liquor. You have to go to the ABC store. It's weird in the United States, and every single state has its own strangeness, but this is totally true. And I can imagine for someone from another country not understanding what in the world this is. What is KY and what is 10? What does that mean? They're two different states. And the line goes.
I got the state thing. I just got why.
Yeah.
Why? It'd be cool if these bars were actually. Yeah, the bar, like, it'd be good if the bars actually still existed.
Yeah.
Well, that was even
you go across.
I was even a little confused myself because I'm like, what's the purpose of the Tennessee side then if they can't serve any alcohol? Like, why not just have the whole bar stand on the Kentucky side, but clarifying that it's the homemade alcohol versus whatever else. I guess makes more sense.
The whole moonshine situation,
Right.
which, you know, I have ancestors who, when we visited the historical family barn many years ago, there was a big jar of bottle caps in the barn and a bottle capper. And, you know, I was like, oh, what did they do? Make their own soda? My dad's like laughing, like, yeah, they made their own soda in the barn. Sure they did. But
let's leave it at that.
Yeah, it's a big jar of bottle caps. It's so cool from, you know, way back when.
Yeah. But yeah, so Alvin and his mates get their moonshine, whatever it is. And everybody's dancing, everybody's having a jolly time. They're just getting sloshed. Let's say
he's so too old for this role, and this was another thing.
So when you said he was 22, I was like, oh god, he looks like he's 45 in the movie.
The lighting even makes it worse.
What was the cutoff point of the draft for World War II?
I'm not sure. It might have been 30. I mean, 35 was later. I'm not sure what it was.
He was 40. He was like born in 1901.
He looks about 40 in this movie for sure.
Yeah, he's 40. Yeah.
But, my god.
So I'm guessing it was because they just couldn't get a younger actor. I'm guessing because they were
36. 36 was the initial cutoff, but you could still serve up until age 64. They would find you, you know, something
to do.
Which actually, in real life, the real Sergeant York wanted to enlist, but was too old by World War II.
Yes, I saw that. He got honorary, didn't he?
Yeah, so he did, and he was able to, you know, to do some work stateside. Yeah. What are you gonna do? He was Gary Cooper, though. He also was a box office draw.
You look at a lot of them, the American Hollywood establishment, especially the men. Yeah, a lot of them. I'm guessing they got away with it. They were, if you make so many propaganda movies, you're still contributing to the war effort.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's how they got away with, not doing anything like it. Well, look at even Elvis. He got drafted. Didn't do anything like that. You know,
and then some of them did. You know, George C. Scott. You know, some of them really did serve, and you got to give them. You know, give them. I'm guessing it's credit.
You have to be a true A-lister, and Gary Cooper really was at the time. But yeah, the only thing is, watching it back, he's even when this pit seemed like it's until he jumped forward when he finds God. There's a time period. There's a span of time. He still looks, too old to play the young bits. They've tried everything with the lighting. But he's too old.
Mm-hmm.
But going on, Jules turns up. And I laughed at this because I know it's like how many men have been not just pulled out by the brother or whatever, somebody not with a shotgun, but a wife out the pub. Back in the day, it's things. I know a story of my uncle's brother that I won't say what he did. He's in books, but he was in a London pub. His wife walked in and went, dinner's on the table, time to come. He was like, I'll be right there. He didn't turn back up. He stayed in the pub. She walked in, said with the serving plate, I suppose, like you call it.
Oh,
was like,
no.
You coming, woman? And then she just wrapped it around his head, apparently.
My word.
Yeah. And then, now you're coming. And you're like, oh, no. Like that.
Now you're coming the hard way.
Now you're coming. Yeah. She's like, Apparently, he sat down for dinner, blood, and then was like, I'm going to have to go to the hospital to get some stitches. So he's like that. He was like, no, not like that. But it's one of those moments. Yeah. So, lining in with a good shotgun here. Yeah, Ma wants to see you. And I do like, it's good. He's like, well, I'll be there. Okay. And it's like,
but he kind of doesn't flint, not because of the gun, but because it's Mom. I think he's, Mom.
they make out he's a bit of a mummy's boy, don't they?
He
Even when
is.
he
He's
comes back.
protective of her like she is of him.
Yeah, but of course, what happens? A group next to him, start laughing because Mama's called you back, and then we have a little pub fight or a bar brawl, and
It's a brawl.
even I like the guy who's not playing the piano. Fast. Let's need to go back to slow. Let's have a trying to get
chill everybody out a little bit.
Yeah. It's just like it's just a little silly little fight. I'm guessing a lot of if it's in the middle of nowhere, I'm guessing a lot of the men just did it for boredom. There's so many in the military.
It was
when
sport.
They just get we're bored. Let's have a fight. It's like
and then they just go back to drinking with each other again. Yep. They're not like angry for life at each other.
No,
they just bust the place up a bit, as they say.
That's it. Yeah, and it's just a bit of a comedy moment. It's just supposed to, I'm guessing, to show that Alvin's a bit of a down and out. He's a bit of a just a bit of a fool. Doesn't have a path in life.
All true.
Yeah.
All true.
Yeah. And of course, it's Mark wants to see you. Get him home. And of course, I like that. Yeah. Her instincts is you've been drinking the liquor. And he's like, oh, sheepy eye, let's get the bucket of water on you. Like, smash. Yeah, that's a good sobering up moment. Yeah. He's like, you're not coming out in this house smelling like that. So and then of course we get going ins and outs of the family life. And she's like, you do need to find your way. But we get the pastor is they're all trying to help him, aren't they? Guide him of what he should do in life. And they go on to things, and he goes on about Daniel Boone, and we get the tree.
There it is.
What's a bar then?
It's a bear.
A bear if you can't spell.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought it was actually something. Yeah, okay. Is that actually a thing? That marking?
That carving is still there in a tree. Yep. It's been preserved.
Did he actually kill a bear?
So the legend is,
the tree says so.
What is it? The myth is greater than the legend. The stories in Alvin's real diary, he writes a lot about Daniel Boone, Davy Crockett, all those old explorers, and he kind of goes into what he would actually do is he would jump out of the trees onto the back of a bear and then get the bear with his knife instead of shoot. If he couldn't shoot the bear, he would like jump on the back.
Rodeo it to death.
Yeah, he apparently did that to buffalo as well. Would just jump on their backs and then just hack at them with their knives. But it was man against bar. Until the Mexicans, the Mexicans got him. Yeah.
I believe this story. Do you know why? Because of the date. That makes he's British.
Oh, it's true. No, wait.
1760.
But I don't know if was he Scottish? Hang on.
Wait, it doesn't matter. We owned you.
Welsh. What do you call
I have no
What
rebuttal.
do you
Fair
consider
enough.
Welsh? That's still English, right? He was
Welsh. No, Welsh is Welsh.
Okay, well, sorry then. You can't claim Daniel Boone. Daniel Boone was of Welsh Quaker.
I said British. I said British. He's British. He's part Britain, British, and then Welsh, English, Scottish, Northern Irish. Yeah. So there we go. Yeah, I believe it then. All went downhill in about 10 years' time.
He did. Well, he did use a knife, so fair enough. Would make it kind of British.
Is there any movie? There's got to be movies on Daniel Boone.
Oh, there's plenty. There's like songs. Yeah. There's songs about Daniel Boone and Davy Crockett and all kinds of
But he moves on with his looks like a musket. This looks like a musket. This doesn't look like a rifle. This looks like a musket.
Oh yeah, they were muskets.
Yeah. So yeah, he's well later on he says, if you've ever shot before, well, not a fancy rifle like this.
He was so impressed by the military rifles, because these were not homemade, but made local. What he was using. So to see a military
But I'm
rifle,
sure
he's pretty impressed.
he's got the at the top in the barrel there. It looks like he's still got the rod in. Like
Is it, or
ready
is
to
it a
go.
bayonet? I don't know. I guess
Why
it's a
would you
rod,
have a bayonet? Why would you
No,
have
you
the
wouldn't.
bayonet in
Yeah,
there?
it would be
Yeah.
a rod. Yeah, musket
There's a rod ready.
balls.
Yeah, that's ready to go. As well. But then we have the dogs. I had to tell them that dog leaping. I was like, bloody hell, that leaped quickly. So so they're following dogs. The dogs are what are they after? I forgot now.
I think a fox. Yeah,
fox. Is it just a fox? I can't remember what it was after.
Just a fox.
So they're chasing. They go through, somebody's, I'm guessing, farmyard, where they went that way, and he looks up, and it's somebody's caught his eye. And it's Grace. She's he's got a bit of a.
She was a little yay high. Yep.
Yeah, well, a little bit of that. So they start talking. And I had to take this part. They say something. Well, she says something that she's not seen him in age of something. References a kind of person or an animal. I don't know.
It's a reference to a raccoon.
Is it a raccoon?
It is, but we don't refer to those the shortcut slang that she uses.
Well, what would that mean then?
Term anymore.
What would an age of a raccoon mean?
Like a long time, because they live forever. I don't know.
It's like a dog's age. I would
imagine. Yeah. I'll get that. Yeah.
Just maybe reference to I don't know the lifespan of a raccoon, to be honest with you. I don't know if they're long-living creatures, but maybe they are, and that's the idea behind it. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Well, we would say raccoon today.
Yes,
not
to put it in the other portion. Yeah, when I was like, he's love at first sight. I'm guessing, or smitten at first sight. Let's say that. Now I like this bit because he's combing his hair, making cleaning up, and even to the point where he gets his guessing you call it like his pants or his overalls mended like that. She's like, whilst his mum's like, what's going on here? But of course she's not the only she's not got just one suitor. His friend Zeb, is it Zeb?
Is it Zed or Zeb?
Zeb has. She's single as well. This must have happened so many. I bet you how bad the birth rate was. You have like
you didn't have much to choose from.
Yeah, is there more men, more women? It's literally it's the same thing. Was it the 7 brides for 7 brothers kind of scenario, isn't it? It's literally that. But they're now kind of trying to get in with Grace, so it's who can smitten her more. But unfortunately, Alvin's got his temper. Let's say that he's got a bit of a temper on him, and he kind of bullies Zeb out of the way while she's going to get some.
While the dad is just
drinks.
sitting there being amused by all of it, because truly, if you've got competition for your daughter, that means you're going to get a bigger, not a dowry. We don't have that here, but
couple of donkeys and a cow in that placement.
Yeah, if you've got to compete, if you've got 2 or 3 after your daughter, she's going to be better off with whomever she goes with, So that's a good thing. So dad is just sitting there having a good old time watching this happen.
Yeah. They tried to make him look so southern, let's put it like that, with his big old beard. His he looks like an old little. I've not moved from this spot with my dog. Yeah,
hound dog on the porch. Yep.
But it's he does. He looks like. Oh, what was that program? Oh, there was a American program, and they were from the South.
Don't say Dukes of Hazzard.
No. And they won, or somebody in their family died and left them an inheritance, and they moved to like a rich place.
Beverly
And then
Hillbillies.
that's it.
They struck oil. They struck oil.
Yeah, that was it. Oh, that was it. Struck oil.
Black
That was it.
Gold,
Oh,
Texas tea. I
that's
know the theme
that's.
song. The first thing you know, old Jeb's a millionaire.
Oh, that used to be funny. But that's him. That's the dad.
Well, and the mom
right,
looks
yeah.
a little like Granny. A little bit.
Yes,
like
I suppose,
Granny.
yeah.
With her, yeah.
Mm.
Little
But-
bonnet.
But now we just get is we really get kind of from this point we get the Alvin's story before he gets drafted, really, of like he's trying to change his life around to impress a girl, really, isn't he?
To be able to set up home, home,
Yeah.
get his piece of land, make himself a family. That's what he wants to do. Now in real life, that he did work extraordinarily hard to make something of himself. He didn't have quite the conversion that was portrayed in this film. He didn't have competition for the girl he wanted to marry, but he did work really, really hard. And but it was to keep the farm going after his father passed away. So there wasn't this sub story about him trying to buy land. That did not happen in real life. So this whole thing about him, clocking up his money, his pennies and quarters that he was making, that did not happen. Makes for an interesting story, but there's some things they left out at this point that would have been even more interesting. But I guess the land story was what they settled on.
Well, I suppose it is. It's what would $50, because that's what that's what they settled on, for $50 back in 1916.
Oh my God, it's like probably $5,000 today. Let's see what is. I've got my inflation calculator up here.
So how many acres would that be? Like that's not going to be a lot of acres, is it? Like,
well, later she says 200 acres, but I think that's
what's
more
gifted,
than what they had planned. Right? It would have just been a couple of acres, not too many. So this would have been 1917, maybe we're getting
16, 17,
17. So okay, $50 would have been $1,400 today.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good compare, but it's good to think about those things. It's hard, today, if you were a young man at 22 and you didn't have a full-time job, might be really hard to get $1,400 in 60 days.
Yeah. But he goes around, any job for anyone, all of the local farmers, and then he's got his little calendar of what, how much he's making per day to just get to his goal.
But do you notice what he does when he comes home? This is I don't know if this is a worldwide thing or an American thing, but back in the day, whatever you were doing, I think even in the greatest game ever played, you saw everybody in the house put their money in the box. It was house money, right? It wasn't your money. And so every day he was putting his money
in the coffee jar,
in the jar, in the box, whatever whatever it was. And you put it in there. And if the family needed money, the family took the money. I mean, here he's putting it in the box, but he's tallying it up as if it's just his. But that's just something I always thought was kind of cool. Everybody just worked hard for the family, and you contribute. You don't keep it for yourself. I like that.
Yeah. So he goes job by job, and this is he's getting whatever jobs he can and the things like that. Even what's skinning, like hunting for fox. Everybody else is giving him a poor one, except for the pastor. It's like, well, it's worth more to me, so he gives him a good,
yeah,
like $3, whatever it is. But
I think he's trying to show
of,
him that there are some people who are good in the world. When a lot of people are going to try to swindle you, there are going to be some people you have to trust, even if everyone else is going to do you wrong, which we'll see. We'll see it happen. But I think he wanted to just give him that to say, hey, some people will trust. You can trust.
Yeah, it's
I like that.
Yeah. But we get he's George is helping out. Everybody's helping out. I do like that. And then we get a couple of the old classic 1940s backdrop scenes. It's very what they used to do, like a very panned out
Very
shots
Gone with
of
the Wind. Yeah.
yes, is where Grease comes up. It's just a little bit of a. I like this because it's bumbling. That's the best way to do it. They approach each other bumbling. It's like what you like, kind of what you're doing. She likes him, he likes her, until the moment of like, just shut up and kiss me. That's it.
Yep.
And even that's what I was gonna say. Oh, and yeah, it's a little bit of thing now. They're fully
Now,
committed to each other.
James, do you recognize her in this smiley scene?
Why?
Specifically, do you recognize her?
No.
So
Oh,
you also liked the film Yankee Doodle Dandy as the
yeah.
guy. She's the girl in Yankee Doodle Dandy too. She's the girl in all these war films. She's
yeah.
Mary in Yankee Doodle Dandy.
Oh, let's have a look. What's that?
Same actress.
Oh, she's changed her hair color. I'll give that.
Yeah, but like
Yeah.
the smile, the face.
Oh, yeah.
She's in
Jane
so
gets
many
married.
of those
Yeah.
films at that time. And then our pastor friend is also in so many films at this time. He's more on the westerns and she's more in the patriotic films, but it's kind of the same recycled cast for a lot of films in this era.
I guess, but it depends. I guess, and they all was this time where they all still signed up to the studios, weren't they? So like,
Yeah. Oh
do
yeah.
Warner
Not
Brothers
until the
Studios,
early
you
50s did they become
you could cross.
independent. Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, he's still working hard, working his thing, trying to get any little bit of probably not even dollars at this point. It's a couple of cents, isn't it? Sometimes per day.
35
But yeah,
cents, 25 cents.
but now we're in September. He's mother's she's kind of proud of him. Like he's getting like this scene where he's falling asleep and she just puts the blanket over him. And just but she's very God-fearing woman, let's say that. She's still praying him to find his way. He's doing good, but let's find his way. Until a boulder kind of gets in his way and he can't shift it. No, he doesn't. He kind of as a go at God, let's say that. I'm like, I he thinks he's a bit of a failure. He's got his dream, but this boulder has defeated him. So what have I done wrong? So he's kind of taunting God, let's say, at this point. They're trying to make out in the movie. When he goes up and asks, I can't remember this guy's name.
Nasty
can I
man.
have an
Whatever his name is.
Yeah. Can I have an extension? So I'm gonna till Saturday. I'm gonna go in a tournament to get some more money. There's a ball to win. With that, I can do it. And he's like, well, nobody else. He kind of says, doesn't he? Well, nobody else wanted it. I didn't expect you to kind of get it. Nobody else bid it. I'll give you to Saturday. So it's okay. Let's get on, and then we get to our shooting competition. So I'm going to end the little chat. How does Alvin win a ball? Because we're about to find out. 67% shooting contest, 17% the mud wrestling contest, 0%.
Either one could have been true. Mud wrestling was a thing too. But let me ask you. So, you have your fox hunts and your, shooting is a huge part of English culture. Is this what, a turkey shoot? Yeah, the turkey's penned in and you got to hit his head with it. It's gruesome, but this actually did happen. I mean, is that, did you all, do you have turkeys over there? Are turkeys natural over there?
No, turkeys are North American.
They're native here.
Yeah.
So you just like send dogs into places and then they
not really.
No, we do
a lot of pheasant shooting, a lot of bird shooting. I'm guessing like that. The dogs and all that is very much the upper class kind of doing that. It's more of like, for the horses, and all that. There's not really the aspect of hunting, I suppose, is different. It's using the dogs with the gamers to draw them into locations, but anybody else who's really thinks they're going pigeon, pheasant shooting, some kind of birds like that. Yeah, it's not things, but of course the gun laws that changed after Dunblane, really stifled any kind of unlicensed kind of going into the fields shooting, I suppose, like that. So otherwise from that, this you can just rock up this is just rocked up in a field, isn't it, and pinned them in.
Oh yeah,
That's
you can.
how it
This
goes.
was sport.
Yeah.
This was great sport, and it was not just your ability to to shoot, but think about back then, like people didn't have very good glasses. So it was really rare to be a good shot. The muskets might have been homemade. Now, if you've been using your own musket forever, you know how it behaves, right? But you didn't
Right.
have the optical sights that we have today. People who, had eye problems couldn't have done this. So it was very few people who could do what he did, and he absolutely was a crack shot. He
Not that far away in this. I'm guessing in the real life it was slightly different because they only look around about 25 meters away.
I was gonna say probably
Yeah.
50, probably between 40 and 50 meters away. But they would be penned in. They would, they would, the idea was to.
Does that make you want to have your Thanksgiving soon, isn't it? There you go.
No. But the word is, there's a word for it and I can't remember it. It's not winging it. It's where the shot, the high score was your shot came so close to the head that the bird died of the concussion, not of the shot. Like there's no mark on the bird. Like to not mark the bird is the highest score, where the bullet just came so close, or musket ball came so close that the turkey died of, the concussion, or, died of fright, as they would say. And in the real life, it was the top prize was a hog, not a beef, as they call it here. It wasn't a whole steer. It was a hog in real life.
But so we get our first shooting with his licking the end of the sights because for the glare. But this is
not in real life.
I don't get why you would ever do it. Like,
no,
why would there be glare?
I think they just wanted to give him like a cool trademark or something.
I think so.
Yeah, 100%.
Like his thing.
Yeah. But we get a little bit of he gets, everybody else is missing. He gets the turkey, and then the next is again they're making their own pellets. I'm gonna call it pellets because that's not like whatever rounds, are they?
Okay, so my dad used to make sinkers for fishing. Same
concept.
My dad used to make the sinkers with we were playing with lead as a child. It was so bad. It was so not healthy.
Well, my dad definitely didn't let us get near it, but he did used to make his own. He had like the same similar thing as this, but it would have like
mold.
Yeah, it was a little mold with like 4 or 5 of them on it, all different weights and all that, so you can make multiple at once. I remember him making them out by the fire pit back in the day.
The little sinkers my dad made looked like little torpedoes.
Yeah, exactly. Little subs, little torpedoes. Yes. Yep, same exact ones. Yep, he used to do that for
ages. It must have been a thing in the 70s and
80s. For him it was like
90s
they weren't expensive to just buy. But it was just like a pastime thing he had carried on from when he was younger and he was fishing and all that. So he did it for a while. He hasn't done it in ages, not since we were kids. But I remember him doing that all the time back in the day.
Yeah, I don't think you're allowed to melt lead anymore.
I would imagine not.
I remember getting those lead slabs, little slabs, and they were taped like with duct tape, and you would take the duct tape, and I would do it. I would take the duct tape off the lead, put it in the little melter. He would pour it in, and then when it was cool, we'd dump them. Yeah, I mean, this is why. Yeah, lead paint too. Lead paint tastes good. Sorry, children. Don't do it. Don't do it out there. But the reason why kids in the 70s and 80s had lead paint in their blood is because it tastes good. Just
really, terrible. I actually did not know that was really that it really tasted
Oh yeah, if you lick a windowsill as a kid, like, and I'm just saying, I was probably 2. If you put your chin on a windowsill that was painted with lead paint, it's like candy. And
No
what kid's
kidding.
not
I
gonna
did
lick
not
a
know that.
windowsill or
Yeah, I would have thought it tasted
a
horrid.
doorway? Nope. That's why kids ended up with lead paint poisoning. It had a taste.
No kidding.
You
I
have to
always
I
wondered
have to
because
lick
that
a
was
lot.
something we always heard about when we were
Mm.
kids. Because at this point, they were starting to work lead out of, I think, all these products.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
the mid '90s to early 2000s. They were working all the lead out of it, or at least attempting to, I believe.
Yeah.
But I still remember it being like a topic of conversation, and I always wondered how like lead poisoning was just happening so much. I'm like, just from touching the pit, but I didn't realize people were quite literally licking it or eating it.
Well,
That's
some people
shocking.
lick windows, apparently, Sandy.
Yeah, well.
This is a historical conversation.
I did not know
Not
that.
an endorsement. I'm putting this in chat of lead paint.
Is that where the window, the window, the word
Yes.
window lickers?
Okay.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
there you go.
This is
I've
news
learned
to me.
something.
I've always wondered
There
what
you
it
go.
actually. I know like how it's applied, but I never understood how window liquor became a
Yep.
thing.
There's also lead
Ah.
in stained glass. The stuff between the panes of glass in stained glass is lead. So yeah, that's where. Yep. Mhm.
Interesting.
Mm. There you go.
Mhm.
Well, there you go. We like to go off topic, but there you go. Some because of some of these
Anyway, how
shootings,
to
I'm
make your own
definitely-
musket
Yeah.
balls
There we go.
in
Yeah.
3 easy
Long
steps.
story short, just buy candy. Don't lick lead.
Just buy
Yeah.
candy. Jolly Ranchers are fine. Jolly Ranchers.
But yeah, he puts in the money that he's going to have. What, the 5 shots? Yeah, and this is unheard of. Like, wow. But yeah, it's to get closest to that V without breaking the paper, really, isn't it? It's
Mhm.
that's the site. So yeah, he's everybody's having a go, and then of course he Alvin comes up, and every time near enough dead center, bang, bang, bang. Yeah. And he's only got one other competition, but yeah, he only wins by a hair, doesn't he? Really, I think he even say that after he wins, and he wins it. His prize a big bull, yeah, a big bit of beef. That would be that even today. That's going to be worth a lot of money.
So
Oh, a lot
I
of
was
money.
so confused at why this wasn't enough to cover. Because wasn't he
Well, it
like,
is.
asking
No.
for money in a hat for something?
Yeah, no, it was though, because because he was like, if you want to shoot again, and you like bet, he was doing a bet, wasn't he, to say, you know, who was going to shoot again.
Yeah.
So this bit when he's doing it, he's
So he
putting
could get the
up
money
prize,
right away
Oh,
without
okay. So this
cutting
yeah,
and selling it.
okay.
trying to get
I was
money.
a little
Yeah,
confused.
yeah. So yeah, I can keep it and get more money, vice versa, or you know, he's literally betting here until, of course,
And he had more than enough money. He
yeah.
just had already sold it.
yeah, he's just
Minutes
trying to
earlier.
make it.
Right.
Yeah, he knows he can win. I'm guessing he knows I'm that
Oh,
good.
sure.
I'm not going to lose. So yeah, it's but yeah, the guy and Zeb, I'm guessing, yeah, Zeb, comes up and yeah, oh, I've got your money for you. Oh, you're too late. You told me Saturday. Today's Saturday, so I'm not too late. And yeah, he sold it to. Well, I'm guessing is his mate. You know, really, isn't it? He's used to be a friend.
I thought this guy was just like kind of his in-town rival type of thing because this wasn't one of the ones that was drinking with him in the beginning. I didn't think.
I don't know. Was it? I don't.
And the only time
No.
I thought when we first saw him was when they had the little rivalry over Gracie.
The woman, yeah, yes.
So I assume this is kind of like some sort of rival to him even before that
Maybe.
encounter with Gracie, because the second he shows
Oh,
up,
not
this
a friend,
guy's kind of giving him attitude like, I don't really like you, you know, York.
There you
So
go. Not a friend.
Yeah.
Not a friend.
I thought there was some
Cool.
kind of rivals. And then he says later on, oh, I guess I don't want to skip ahead, but kind of alluding more to the fact that, yeah, he just wanted to piss him off.
I say about yeah, but this is where he tells him, and everybody has to really hold Alvin back. He's pissed off, and yeah, you're rightly you did everything right. You got the money in time, was things, and yeah, it's
Worked
it's
his
all,
tail off for
yep
2 months, day after day, broke his back, and
yeah, and then a broken deal really, and then yeah, so he's gets pissed off. Even everybody around him is like, calm down, everything will be okay. You know, there's going to be another bit of land, you know, really. But yeah, first thing he does is, I'm going to let's go back to the bottle. So yeah, he goes back out of what he knows kind of best at this point. Yeah, I'm gonna sink my sorrows in a bottle. So, but on the way home, it starts to thunder and lightning, and I'm guessing they trying to make out that God has answered.
The conversion of Paul, right? On the road to Damascus, struck down by lightning and converted magically, which did not happen in real life. Didn't happen.
But yeah, he's must get struck by lightning. And yeah, it turns into that. But yeah. This is, I think that in the past that says there'll be a moment when you actually do find God. Some people gradually get there, or it'll be a bolt of lightning. Yep. And this is the bolt of lightning.
And this would be that
literally bolt. Yeah. And so he gets back on his horse after having a moment, and of course he on his way home, the church is open, everybody's singing, and he comes in for the first time. It does seem like the first time. I can't believe it's the first time. I'm guessing it's the first time as an adult or for a few years, because I'm guessing it would have been highly frowned upon to not attend Sunday service. So, but yeah,
it would be noticed, because it's a small town. You count heads, you count who's sitting in the benches, and
you would have to have a good reason not to attend. You would have to be near death. But yeah, he turns and everybody have a song. They all gather around and accept him back into the Lord's light. I'm guessing.
Give me that old time religion is the song.
Yeah. I've never heard that song. Only in this. Is it a very sung song in America?
So
I've never heard it. No.
In when we think about 100 years earlier or 150 years earlier from this, as different established religions are coming over here so that they can profess their religion freely, whether it's the Catholics in Maryland, the Quakers in Pennsylvania, the Puritans up in New England. Over time, they became the persecutors, right? They're fleeing persecution. But then, well, if you don't, worship like I do, you don't belong here. And people started falling away from organized religion even that early. And there would be in these towns that were so far away from a city center or a larger town, you'd have preachers that were doing what was called riding the circuit. They would go from town to town and they'd preach a little bit. And some of them were swindlers, but some of them were very, well-meaning. And they kind of developed their own religions with little bits and pieces of, Protestantism. And you had the Methodists, kind of the revive, what we call the revivals. You'd go to a meeting. It wasn't necessarily a Sunday service, but you'd go to these meetings, these revivals, to get everybody jazzed up just about God. And it didn't have to conform to a particular religion, because at one point, and you got to think, you've also got people coming from all over the world now, kind of coming together. They kind of started developing their own ways of worshiping. And in these small towns, you might have come from a Catholic family and I might have come from a Protestant family. You just found that meeting house so you could have that fellowship. And, you sing these songs and you just, read the Bible and preach the good word. And everybody was, okay with each other. And it wasn't like we think of religion today or even way back when. It was just, hey, you come together as a town. Doesn't matter which cross you wear. It's okay. You just all come together and worship God. And that's what this was.
Yeah. So now he's fully with the Lord, let's say that. So he goes up to kind of give this old git, call it forgiveness. Really. Yeah. He's I'm gonna kind of forgive you. Yeah. But he's trying to strike what's he trying to strike a deal with? Like, oh, can I borrow something? Can I rent something to kind of make some?
Can I have my mule back?
Yeah,
he wanted to buy his mule back. And the guy is so astounded by his kindness and forgiveness that he gives him a better deal. The mule was worth 40, but he bought it from him for 30 because he kind of swindled him. But he's going to sell it back for 20. So he's giving him back the money that he swindled from him. And he's like, well, I want to pay a fair price. He's like, no, you take it for 20. So now he's seeing that by being the better person, he's actually reaping rewards for being the better person. Something we should all learn to do. It's kind of hard though sometimes.
Yeah, and he gets
same thing from Zeke or Zeb or Zed.
Yeah. Yeah, and he's it's he thinks he's gonna go there and kick the crap out of him, really, does he?
Yeah.
Like, no, we just need to have a talk, and then they kind of clear the air as well. It's like, well, yeah.
Well, he actually says he didn't want the land after all. He just bought it out of spite. And so he's going to allow him to work the land to be a sharecropper. And he said, oh, you'll own the land outright in 2 years, which is an amazing deal. So he's given him a great deal too.
And everything's going right. And then he's, unfortunately, but with Gracie still thinks he hasn't made it. Let's say that with her. But she's still smitten. She's blatantly, I don't care. We'll get there somehow. You don't have to be, in the money for us to, I'm guessing at this point, get married. I'm guessing her family is going, come on, come on. That's it. But now he's doing Sunday school.
Which is true. He did. When he started to find religion, which was a much slower conversion than the lightning strike portrayed in the film, he began teaching, but he was asked to sing because I'm surprised they didn't play this up in the film, but maybe Gary Cooper's a lousy singer. But the real Alvin York was an amazing tenor. And so he was, asked to sing and then asked to preach and then asked to teach Sunday school. And he had a real way with children. I guess, growing up in a family of 11 and then later having 10 of his own. He really had a way with children and teaching and, and the families of the children, later, would all comment on, what a kind and gentle soul he was. And it kind of starts to play into him being a conscientious objector and not wanting to harm anyone in the war because he was such a kind soul, even though he was way over 6 feet tall and had this booming voice.
Yeah, we get that. But whilst he's doing that, we get our postman, I'm going to call that, whatever you want to call him, turns up again with the papers. And of course, this is where Wilson has declared war. And the first draft measures will be put in place. So I'm guessing, it must have been just this is like, we get all this, you must register, like for the ones not near towns where this is probably like a week that has happened. And it's got to be like, it's got to take some time getting the news over to these little villages of, what I might be drawn in to go to France. What?
Where's France? I don't know where France is.
Yeah, it's quite a daunting thing, and especially what we got earlier is like, why does it matter to us? But I'm guessing at this point, it would have been very much of the papers and everything would have been highly propaganda. Like, we need to go, So,
and by the way, so you mentioned the postman. So in, across rural America, I can never say that word, rural America.
I struggle with that one too.
It is hard.
Rural. I always feel like I say it like I got a mouthful of marbles.
It is hard.
English classes.
Say it and it sounds so beautiful when they say it, and I can't say it. But in that part of, America and all these little small towns, most of these little small towns did not have a government building, right? The post office was the place where you went. And even today, you go to get your card. Well, I think you do it all online now, but when I was younger, you go to get your card at the post office on your 18th birthday. There was always an ad in the news, on TV about, when you turn 18, you've got to register with Selective Service. You go to the post office. Back in the day when you couldn't file your taxes online, where do you go to get your form? You go to the post office. That was the place to do all your government business, was the post office. And so it was also like the thread out to these small towns that, there were no televisions back then, but this is how you got your news. And this is where they went to tally up, okay, who has registered and who hasn't. The United States has had a census since way back when, every 10 years. So they kind of would have had a 1910 census and known how many young boys were, about 11 years old in 1910. And so they kind of know, even before you registered, they'd expect a certain number of young men from different cities and towns based on what was in the 1910 census.
Because it's what, 21 to 31. Yeah. So you're looking at what? You're 300 million now? Population. So if you go by 50-50 split and then downgraded to 1917, that's a lot of men can be quickly gathered to the war.
Oh yeah.
Things like that. So now I'm guessing, was there exemptions? Was there, like, except for disabilities and
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what the rules were back then. Disability would have definitely been one. Nationality would have required a second look. If you were of German extraction, they would have taken a very careful look at you, although it wasn't an automatic bar to service. There was not a Sullivan's rule back then. So the Saving Private Ryan, if you're the last son, if your siblings have been killed in war, then the last surviving son doesn't serve. It's named after the Sullivans, 5 brothers who were all killed in the same naval disaster. But yeah, so back then that rule didn't apply. I don't know. Sometimes there's a rule if your mother's a widow. So if Alvin were the sole provider for the family, and he's not, because in real life he has other siblings who are providing for the family. So there are some of those rules, but that was fleshed out later because this is the first draft, right? The Civil War draft was a whole different thing. Civil War draft was, hi, I'm going to go into the local bar and I'm going to make you sign this document. And which side are you going to be on again? Especially if you're in Maryland or Kentucky, which side? It's a coin flip, are you Union or you Confederate? 2 brothers, 1 on each side. There you go. But yeah,
I was watching a documentary about Alvin, I suppose, like that, and it was about this time period. And they actually, what was quite interesting, I didn't know, is Native Indians, they weren't classed as American citizens, they weren't obliged to sign up, but they still did.
They did.
So they were like, no, this is, we're like, so a lot of them still signed up to urge the call for the people.
Former slaves signed up, and a lot of recent immigrants signed up. So yeah, it's interesting, like the between the war period, how a lot of the rules and apparatus got put in place. Unfortunately, kind of predicting what would happen not too long later. Kind of step back now and you look at World War I and World War II almost as one continuous conflict. And you kind of see the machine that was put in place from the end of World War I until World War II, and all the technical advances and all of that, that kind of sadly prepared the nation to go and do it once again with the children of those who served in World War I, now going to fight in World War II.
Well,
and that's the audience this film was playing to.
73,000 men volunteered on the first day. There you go. And that's it. But yeah, but of course, the pastor tells him that if it's a very thing, if you're a part of a religious sect and you are part of the, you know, the like, I can't remember what he says now.
A
Like,
recognized
yeah,
congregation. Yep.
congregation. Yeah, you can actually get out. So he writes a letter, but yeah, they reject him on merit. It's like, yeah, but you're just a small village, really, like that.
And but that's what they were like.
Yeah.
This wasn't the Catholic Church. This
Mm.
wasn't the Protestant Church. This wasn't the Methodist. This wasn't. And these were those local preachers who just pulled their local congregations together, and they weren't. Some of them weren't recognized. Yep.
Yeah. So he's gonna wait for the draft. So he's been rejected, but he's gonna now also he's gonna send an appeal to that. But yeah, it's weird. But he's got now his eye on another piece of land as well that we get, and he's telling Grace, you know, kind of the dream of, you know, them owning this little patch of land, and we can make something of it. But whilst that's happening, yeah, he gets back to the general store, the post office, the shop, whatever you want, and yeah, lingerie or whatever, isn't it? Probably like a confession booth in the back. It literally is.
Probably.
And the best, I bet this was one of those things back there. They, you know, like, oh, I'm going to speak to one person, and I know they're going to tell everybody, so it's not a problem anymore. You know,
oh like, yeah.
But yeah, he's draft letters come through, so he needs to come out, and yeah, but whilst the appeal's happening, so yeah, he's been drafted, so yeah, it doesn't matter anymore. So he's packing to join the army, and he's saying his goodbyes to his family. Yeah, a little bit of remembrance, and then he gets picked up at. This is going to be our historian then.
Camp Gordon, which was later named Fort Gordon, steps, Jay, from where the Masters is played in Augusta, Georgia.
Oh, no kidding.
Today, however, about 2 years ago, the name of the Camp Gordon was renamed to Fort Eisenhower because I believe Gordon was associated with the Southern cause. So a lot of those, a lot of names of places have been changed. So now it is now Fort Eisenhower in Augusta, Georgia. I've been there. There is stuff goes on there related to cybersecurity and really cool stuff. So still in use today. The other main camp for training troops to head out to Europe in World War I was Camp Meade in Maryland, named after General George Meade. And today it is Fort Meade, Maryland. And you may know Fort Meade as the home of NSA, the National Security Agency. So you can guess what's going on in Fort Eisenhower and Fort Meade today is where NSA has operations. But those two were huge training grounds for the troops heading out to World War I. And in Maryland, Camp Meade, a huge contingent from Baltimore named the 313th Infantry, called Baltimore's Own, also fought in the Battle of the Meuse-Argonne. My great-grandfather was part of that contingent that went over there. And as we go day by day through some of the events of this battle, I will tell you where my great-granddad was when while they're showing what's being depicted here, because thankfully he wrote letters, and he wrote letters frequently, so we know exactly where he was and what he was doing during that battle. And they dug a lot of ditches. Their training was, as he wrote in his letters, digging trenches, and I'm not kidding, and cleaning rifles, because they arrived from the factory. So tell us about this, James. These rifles arrived from the factory coated in oil, and they would do exactly what's depicted here. They would have to get all the grease off of these. What is that about?
I'm guessing it's something to preserve. I'm guessing because it's going to be wood and metal. I'm guessing it's just if they're there and they're not being used and not being. I'm guessing it's just to store them.
They
There is
rot?
like
Okay.
they must after time get really rusty. They must get like seized up. So I'm guessing it's just not to seize up the mechanism inside, but I'm guessing they just used to plunge it in and do it like that. I've heard it like very to preserve. They do it in museums with
Yeah.
the weaponry. Let's say that is they dip them in something. I'm guessing it's completely different now, but I'm guessing that's what it was. I'm guessing it was just to make sure it wasn't all seized up, and then you've got to actually clean it yourself. Like these weapons, you have to be make sure you're gonna have to clean them thoroughly every day because they're not modern. You know, they haven't got the coating on it to kind of keep it. So yeah, the kind of the grease and all this stuff is going to be terrible. So you just got things, but yeah, even to this is like the trenches get. I've done a trench like that. It's like
Digging
why
the trenches.
you're just digging a thing. But even to this point, it was I suppose like the naivety of the Americans, because even when they got over there, they had to be retrained in trench warfare because you can dig a trench, you can dig one, but how you live in it and how you deal with it, you've got guys, and how they didn't get a liaison officer of somebody is served in at the front and then comes back and say, look, yeah, you can dig a hole, but this is what you got to do because
You
this
gotta
is what
do
the conditions are.
Yeah.
Because they got back and it was like roughly 7 weeks before they got deployed in game. So they got to France and then had to get trained actually on trench warfare because it's like that machine gunnery and all that, because it wasn't modern, the American, I suppose, style of fighting. Yeah.
No.
So,
and even I would say though, the Baltimore boys digging those trenches at Fort Meade, Maryland is clay. Our soil is clay. So they would have been really good diggers because digging through clay is tough. But my great-grandfather got there on May 21st of 1918. And he wrote, I'm feeling well, but I miss you, to my great-grandmother. All the boys from our street are together. So they all the kids from the same neighborhood, guys from the same neighborhood went. We're 42 in one room. We go to bed at 10 o'clock. We get up at 6 o'clock in the morning. I couldn't sleep on Monday. We got our suits today. So, and then there's some hugs and kisses and all kinds of other crazy stuff. So they got their uniforms on May 29th of 1918. My great-grandfather would have departed on July 8th, 1918 on the Leviathan, which at that time, it was a converted cruise ship, as most of them were. That crossing was the world record for the most men on one ship crossing the ocean, 11,000 on that ship.
No kidding.
I think it's been eclipsed since then, but at the time it was 11,000 on one ship from Hoboken, New Jersey, over to France.
Wow. No kidding.
How old was he?
He was, let me go back to 1918, born 1899, 19. He was born in 1899.
No. Nice. Yeah. So yeah, we get our first, this is his only kind of the reference of his mate. We get Pusher. But we get, his Alvin is he's just minding his own business,
doing
isn't he? Really, doing his thing. And until one of the, I think he's a lieutenant, isn't he? Calls up one of the sergeants, like, "Have you got any trouble with Private York?" No, he's fine. Well, yeah, he's noted down here as a conscientious objector. So I'm guessing they had a list just in case the of like the ones who said, "Yeah, I don't want to." Even though he's at this point, he's like, "Well, I was unlucky. I suppose I've been called up." So he's just still doing he's doing his duty, I suppose, like that. Well, yeah, I'm gonna do what I have to do. Yeah, so things like that. And then I do like this. This is this little bit I think is great because it just shows again, and I always say how big America is and how many people don't realize it is. And what is a subway? And he's like that. What? And he has to explain it. He's like, it's a train that goes underground. And he's like, what, a steam
Does it go
train?
this way, up
What?
and down,
No.
this way?
And I love it. And he's like that. But he has no idea. He's like
No.
that. This actual thing exists. It's great. And he's like that. And then he's having like I'm guessing Tennessee slang words. And he's like, what is that? What you speak like down there? He's like, well, you know, we're Tennessee. we're Tennessee boys. It's quite good. And I'm guessing it was like they're all chucked into,
Still is.
you know, into one little pool, even like the aspect like this in the Second World War. But I guess this one, yeah, they're all men goes like they would have been in, like, heard from people from states they've never ever, not even probably like thought about visiting, or it was just like that would take me, you know, 4 weeks to get to, you know, on the like that. But
just
going by
at this
train, he's like,
particular camp, though, you notice the name of the division was the All-American Division. That was actually because there were people from all across the country in this particular unit, but that wasn't typical. Like my great grandfather's was the 313th. It was Baltimore zone. They were from Baltimore. And they were talking about, you know, being on the ship with the New Yorkers, and the New Yorkers must have made their presence known everywhere, by the way, because my grandfather talks about the New
I'm
Yorkers.
shocked.
I know, seriously. But it was not typical to have people from so many different places in one unit. This was atypical.
So yeah, we're going on, and this is the scene where they get their rifles, or they start getting, you know, it's like all their caps. I do like the caps. I do like their hats. It's very American. It's like that. At least it is, because the last one we saw when you just nicking off the French. So this is very
When
much.
we
It
do
looks like
what?
that
Say
scout.
that again. When we do
You
what?
Nicking off
We
the
stole
French.
what from the French?
The French, the hat styles. When we saw
The
Brotherhood of the
tricolor, you
Dwarf.
mean?
Yeah.
Oh, that one. Okay.
Yeah.
May I share a photo?
Yes.
I'll show you what a real uniform looked like.
Oh, sorry. Let me just take it off.
So that's my great pop.
Oh no, that is awesome.
That's
My
great.
great grandfather at Fort Meade. Visitors were allowed, and that was
What was
the
the
camp.
dog? What was the dog?
That was the camp pup. And did you notice the
Oh.
scene in the film where
Yes.
a guy's getting off the boat with a dog? They did.
Yeah.
They actually did have
They take their
dogs in their units, and this was the camp pup, and he's actually memorialized in a book about the 313th. The name of that's actually a she. It's a she. And she fared well. She went to France and she came back. She was
Oh, no
okay.
kidding. That's awesome.
Despite the fact that many of them did not come back, the dog did. But yep, that's him. That's his. There's the hat. Well, that's not the combat hat, but that's the uniform hat. And the baggy trousers, the trews, and goodness knows what's on his feet. The lack of good footwear back then.
Oh yeah, the socks and the footwear, the biggest killer, wasn't it?
It was. It really was. It's not what got my granddad. My granddad got 2 bullets through the helmet and 3 in the shoulder, but thankfully came home. Believe it or not.
Oh God, really?
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
And we will listen to. I will share the account via his letters when we get to that point in the film, because he went to the same battle, the Battle of the Meuse-Argonne.
Oh, okay. So we get that, and then of course we get Alvin gets his one, and I like this because he's just oh, this is a good weapon like that.
That's
he's not
good,
had this would he's
like
not had
this.
it's actually made. It's got it's going to work correctly, but then they you got a problem there, and he's like no problem, and he's like well he's like they give him a bit of a jib for because they all now kind of keeping their eye on him. And they've been being a bit mean, but they kind of get him to kind of clean the rifle where Pusher does it completely wrong, and then he's like, "Yep, he's completely cleaned it perfectly." So it's oh, how do you know your weapons? And he's like, well, back in Tennessee, that's what we did. We go shooting. But is quite good. But yeah, and then we get this is one of the I guess in the famous scene of the movie is the range,
True
where we
story.
is it actually
Yep, he was a crack shot everywhere he went.
Straight.
He was praised. He was recruited to help others and help to train, like they show in the film a little bit when they talk about him training others. But yeah, he was just really good.
Except for Pusher isn't. So when he was like, a bit naive, but he's still going to shoot, and he's like, you got your thumb up, and what's it called? I need it for balance. Like, what? I don't get what he's on about, but yeah, and bop straight into the eye. I always think they allow it to happen once.
Yep, you'll never do it
like
again.
That. You'll never do it again. If you hold that rifle,
it's the best way to learn, right?
Yep. You're gonna get. You're about to get a good black eye. It's like that. You hold it too close, or the scope bomb. It's like that. Yeah, wait for it, because first time you do it, anybody who hasn't shot a rifle or anything like that, the first time you're surprised with the kick. You're like, whoa, that gives a little bit. After that, I can actually. Oh, hold it. Let me grab this. Two good rifles. I haven't got my name on it. Can't see it. Best shot.
Awesome.
Oh,
Congratulations.
Nicely done.
I remember that. That was like that. It's like, oh. They were like, that's a good 50p cluster there. And I was like, is it? I was like, yeah, okay. That's at a competition. I don't know. That's it. But then they kind of go, to Alvin. I do like their things. You have to like practice straight away, and they're kind of telling him, I think, goes, well, I'm sure I know that. It's like that. Well,
they don't give you the ammo at first. You just have to fire an empty weapon.
Yeah, and he's like, yeah, go on then. Like, because he's being a bit cocky back to the sergeant, but not in a way. He's just being a cocky polite. Let's say that. He's like, well, of course I know that. Why wouldn't I know that? Because he's shot since he's been winged or something, didn't he? He said. But yeah, he gets as he's shot, and he gets a miss, and he's like, nope, let's have a recount. Bullseye, but off to the right there, and he's like, oh, and he recognizes straight away, but the sights might be off.
He's like, well, I'm sure I could do better, sir. The sergeant or major's like, huh? First, I think at first everyone assumes that they're going to miss first, so they said miss. It's because no one's even looking. They weren't even looking at the bullseye. They were assuming he didn't even hit the target.
But after that, they give him 5, and it's boom, dead center, dead center, dead center. Near enough, it's like that, and they're like, okay, you actually
we'll take him on our team. Yay.
Yeah, you've actually got something we need. And he's like, yeah, how did you how did you learn to shoot like that? Well, turkey shooting, really, isn't it? It's like that. That's like that. So yeah, he's got a better rifle. He's got the skills on a bad rifle. Musket, and now so he's worthy. He's got their eye of you could fit quite well in this modern army we're about to form. But yeah, they're all in awe of like, how did they do that? How did he do that? But yeah, this is where he's training kind of in the way of how you would. Who do you shoot first? And I'm guessing this is real life. He was don't shoot the one at the front, you shoot the one at the back, so they don't realize, and you take him on. That's it. But we get that, and then we get this. Is it a major or a colonel? I can't remember.
So I think it's a major.
Major. He calls him into how's everything going on, and you kind of get the they're going to pull him up out of the conscious objector again. But yeah, no, we're going to promote you to a corporal because we can get you training with the other guys.
You got skills.
Yeah, and but yeah, he rejects it. But he gives him the major's right in a way. He's like, well, he's very propaganda speak.
Here comes the patriotism. Yep, here it comes.
It's very much of like, look, listen, this is here's a book, and I think it's a book about American heroes, isn't it? It's just
It is. It's going to be
Yeah, I
George
think so.
Washington. It's going to be Daniel Boone's going to be in that book. They're all going to be in that book.
Yeah. So it's read this book. These are, lesser men that became heroes, and it's about this is now. Come on, you've got it in you to be that next American hero, and you can feel the all the funfare going off at this point. But yeah, he goes
Didn't
off.
happen in real life, but
No.
in real life, he was a great shot, and he was asked to help train the others because he was.
But to get people to think about it, you could be. So then he goes back home and goes to
Gives him
Daniel
time off.
Boone's tree, and this is where reading this book, he we'll skip through it. Sorry, out of sequence a little bit. That's all right.
Reading the book and the Bible.
Yeah,
at the same time.
So yeah, he at the moment of on a cliff face, he kind of has a realization of like, yeah, I need to. I'm going to war.
I think it's also the view, from the mountains, even the East Coast mountains, which are not anywhere near like the Rockies or anything, but you get such a view, and he's probably looking at most of Tennessee and some of Kentucky and surrounding states and just thinking about the country. And yes, everyone getting very patriotic and thinking, you know what, I can do something here. I can really do something here. And, maybe not defend my country. Maybe I'll be in a different country, but it's important that we do what our forefathers did, and those brave men that came before us. He's going to do it too with his faithful dog.
But yeah, so he goes back. Kind of, yeah. I understand now. I understand, kind of moment. And yeah, and even the major kind of, yeah, well done. And he's like, do you trust him? Yeah, that's all you needed from a soldier. I would trust him with my life, kind of moment. So that's all you need. And then we get now. Soldiers are now fully trained and equipped for the battle. The All-American Division sails to France. So now we get little next bit of like, we get letters from home. No, Sandy just
they did. They were encouraged to write letters because it kept morale up, and people back home were encouraged to write as much they could. And next to food and ammunition, the most important operation in World War I and World War II was the mail. Getting the mail to and from the soldiers was so important. And you would think, I don't know, I think we probably don't realize today how important that is because we've got phones and whatever. But the amount of effort taken to get mail to and from the troops was, again, second or third only to ammunition and food.
Wasn't there a Netflix series about that got panned?
Don't. Because it wasn't historically accurate. It wasn't. And the United States Postal Museum is a great museum in Washington, D.C. It's part of the Smithsonian. It tells the real story of I think it's called the 5888 or the 3 forgive me, I'm giving it the wrong. It's something 888 division of women who, yes, really worked hard to make sure letters got places. It wasn't exactly as portrayed in the film.
I will never watch that film, I don't think.
Me either. I could already tell. Like I could already tell.
Yes, exactly. But yeah, so yeah, he's writing. Yeah, he lets us home whilst everybody's in the trenches. Now, yeah, from the historical, yeah, it mixed really at this point. Why wouldn't you be in with the Tommies, let's call it? No, that's the first thing. But yeah, we kind of getting experience from that. So this is where, yeah, you're learning off the Brits who have been in there for a while. You get the shells coming over. No, don't worry, that one's not near. Like that, they're like the American fucking. You'll get used to it. You don't have to duck every time. Oh, this one's near.
This one you gotta. This one.
But I guess that was it. There, you're gonna learn to the guys who's been in. I guess you can call it being country for a while. Is you've got to learn from their experience. So yeah, it's going to be this fresh group of Americans coming on, and yeah, you might be in Europe. This doesn't look like Europe. This isn't it doesn't really matter. You're just in you're in a trench. they're over there. This I think we've always said this part of any warfare, this is probably the most horrid. This is despicable. It was.
Can I share another image?
Yes,
I
of course.
may. So I know it's hard to read, and I don't expect you to read it. This is what one of the letters looked like, and you got this patriotic stationery that was provided, and this by the Knights of Columbus, which was a Christian organization. So the Red Cross, all of the voluntary organizations would be providing paper and getting out there and encouraging the soldiers to write. And then here on the home front, encouraging people to write back. And so this one in the film, when York is in the trenches, it's after the beginning of the offensive, which started on September 25th of 1918. And it's the going over the top moment. And what this letter says is, from my great-grandfather to my great-grandmother, I received your letter, etc., etc. On September 25th, we went over the top. Dear sweetheart, I have been shot in the left shoulder. I was shot on September 27th. I am staying in a town called Vichy, also staying in this hotel, which they use for a hospital. In my room, I met a fine fellow. He helps me dress myself in the morning because I can only use one arm for a while.
Mhm.
So that was on. So they went over the top on the 25th, which actually happened to be his birthday. So that would have been his 19th his 20th birthday. And 2 days later, a day and a half later, he was shot and removed to a hospital. He didn't come home for 4 months. He was touch and go for a while. He had an infection, and it wasn't certain that he would survive, but he did survive. But that's the time frame we're in. We're in these like 3 weeks of this massive campaign to secure a large part of France that is going to eventually lead to the, hopefully to the end of the war a year later. But that's what they were facing. And it's also, I hate to use this as a comparison, but I actually thought it was well done in the Wonder Woman film. Yeah, when she's jumping out of the trenches with her, with her shield, and when Spud from Trainspotting is with her. It actually did a good job of displaying the pure mayhem that was going on, jumping from trench to trench and just trying to get, make it further through these massive tangles of barbed wire and all kinds of, obstacles that were put in their way just to gain this little bit of France. But they did, and they kept going, and they kept going, and they kept going, and eventually they were victorious. And this unit from Baltimore, this 313th Division, or 313th Unit under the 29th Division, because of what they did in their little piece of France, a monument was constructed to honor them. And the folks in France modeled that monument on a battle monument that exists in Baltimore today, going back to the War of 1812. So not only did the people of France honor this unit, but they honored them in a way that would be kind of characteristic of Baltimore, which is kind of cool. And that's at Montfaucon in France. So sorry for that little detour, but these dates that are referenced here, these are, actual events that took place. And Sergeant York was about 90 miles from where my great-grandfather was.
No
so you probably heard of him. So,
very interesting.
Oh, absolutely. And I'm going to dig through. I have about 50 letters from my great-granddad, and then I have 400 letters from my granddad during World War II. And I'm always piecing. I don't have enough time to read through them, but my granddad writes a lot about the movies that he saw aboard ship. And I never paid too much attention before, but now I'm trying to get back into those and see which films he saw aboard ship, because if we're going to look at any of the ones that he saw aboard ship, I definitely want to reference that.
Excellent. Yeah. So, on this, we get the little bit of trench, and we get the shells coming over, and then one of the Americans kind of gets hit. One of their friends is like that. So I'm guessing they've not
Through the
been
helmet,
there that long.
just
Yeah,
like
through
my
the helmet.
Yep, just like my great granddad through the
Yeah.
helmet. They weren't that.
And
Those
this,
helmets weren't that great.
then none of them were great. Usually, sometimes you're like, what the hell? Like even the modern ones, they're like, yeah, if it gets a direct hit, you're gone. It's
It
like they're
doesn't
mostly for
matter.
ricochet.
No.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. So yeah, we're in the second week of the offensive. I'm not going to pronounce it. Go on, Sandy.
Musargon.
Musargon. There you go. And that is October the 8th, 1918. So is that when? So he did this offensive and then got shot straight
Yeah,
away?
he was shot the week before. So he was shot on the 27th of September. So
yeah,
9 days before this.
So he hadn't been what? So 19. So what? He been in what? 6 months? Something like that before? Like
At
roughly?
that point, yeah, it was
Yeah.
6 weeks of training and then
Yeah.
off to France in July. They landed in July on the 13th of July and then worked their way. And I have a map of,
that would be really cruel. He'd be kind of lucky that he got injured, let's say, or like wounded, because winter's coming. You don't want to be in a trench in winter, and that's when it. Yeah. So.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah.
No, he got it on day 2. So day 2 of the offensive. So this is 9. What did I say? 10. No, 27, 28, 29, 30. So this is 11 days in. So he was on day 2 and this is day 11.
Yeah. So this is where the Germans are dug down and they need to go over the top. Let's what's the strategy for today? We're going over the top.
Same thing we do every day. Try and take over the
world. That's why I think Jay, you've not seen it. Is Blackadder?
No, never seen.
Go forth. Oh, it's like that. They do this
cry.
kind of. They do this great scenes like with what's his name? Stephen Fry, who is what's his name?
Melchett, General Melchett.
General Melchett. Like they come out with these great plans. So what's the plan today? Discussion. We're going over the top because they wouldn't expect it, because that's what we've done for the last 100 times. So this time they won't expect us to do it again because it's never worked previously. And they just it's that satire of like, yeah, you never ever changed it. Like, yeah.
And he says, don't worry, the honest Tommies and the good, whatever's in the trenches, don't worry, we're right behind you. And Rowan Atkinson says, yeah, 140 miles behind us, because they were sending these men to be slaughtered. And the upper crust, the upper crust, they were in safety. They were hanging out, sipping their tea in safety. And when they went over the top, oh God, you have to watch it. I'm not even going to describe it, but the series, which is so kind of, goofy, funny, slapstick comedy, a lot of physical comedy, but this was, this one was very serious and very poignant. And
the last, I think me and Sandy, you cannot help, and I think anybody who's a Brit and watched it when it came out, the last episode, like when they go over the top, you don't like. It's one of those moments where it's finished. Of course, it's a TV program, and you just don't talk to anybody. You're like, you're just okay. I just watched that and
happened.
It's just like, and it's so impactful. It's just like, oh, okay. That's great TV. But it's great,
really
you
sad.
have like some great Hugh Laurie's in it. He's Captain Darling. I can't remember
Darling.
the name. Captain Darling.
Hello, Darling.
Darling. Yeah. It's like that, but it's funny, but yeah, it's just showing how the stupidity of that. And it was like you had it gain so many the advancement of modern weaponry wasn't the tactics they were used to, and that's it. And you had even in the American Civil War, the advancements were faster than the tactics, and it's like that's why they went, well, just dig in. We can't get over because they got machine guns, we got machine guns. We have aircraft, they have aircraft. We've got mustard gas. It's just it's horrible. But yeah, so they're great idea. Let's go over the top. Of course, no man's land. And of course they get pinned down. by the machine gunners. Where then this is where I'm Sandy going to tell me this is real. He went against orders to kind of.
Well, there kind of were no orders because it is
Yeah.
correct that like the leadership, it's not that they weren't with him. Like York was the highest ranking officer with this group, sent it was 7, I believe, of them sent to take out a machine gun nest. All 7 of them did. What is depicted here, where this goes astray is that you know, it wasn't just Sergeant York taking them out. He was the better shot. He was probably lethally wounding them, but there were others that were with him where it looks like when they're up in the machine gun nest, it looks like it's just him. There were others that were with him, but he was commanding them. And so where the, you know, where the honor for him is 100% deserved, it's not that he was doing everything by himself. He was leading them in a very, you know, in a very successful way, to the point where it was senior German officials surrendering to him. And as his unit is taking the prisoners, they are, just like in the film, encountering other groups of Germans who are just automatically just putting their weapons down and putting their hands up. And part of that could be, I could be wrong on this, I'm kind of surmising, part of it could be because they see a senior commander who's been taken captive. So I think they're realizing, uh-oh, we're doomed. And you know what? We've been doing this for 11 days now. We're kind of done. You know, there's a little bit of that that's probably there, but it is true, as they were going back to wherever they were trying to get to, more and more Germans were just joining the train of being captured. You know, just, hey, let me join in. Hey, can I surrender too? Can I join the party? And they were. And yeah, at the end of the day, 132 were taken captive by a handful of folks, not just Sergeant York by himself, but a handful of folks.
So he takes them there. He gets over, you know, through the trenches. Everybody else is running in. He's going for the machine guns. You know, when we get this, I don't know the rank of the German. I'm guessing a major of some sort.
No, but why were they not showing I mean, they weren't showing insignia in this film, oddly enough. I mean, I don't know. They weren't doing the German uniforms correctly, were they?
No. I'm guessing I don't know if they tried to kind of not
Distance
do it because
from the new regime. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm guessing they were like, well, maybe they did it at both, because I'm guessing I've seen German officers and they didn't look like this at this time period. This is very much like this is a 1940s German officers.
In between, it's kind of in between, right?
Yeah, in between. So I'm guessing they wanted, well, we don't want to look too out of place because we're trying to protect, like, propaganda, Second World War.
We don't want to scare anyone. We don't want to go on the caps, right? I think that's yeah.
So I don't get the Germans. They're very off point. It's like that because it's too if it is, it's like maybe 1930s, maybe I don't know. It's a bit odd. Maybe it's just the costume. Grab that'll do. Just take off the insignias is something else. But so Alvin, Sergeant York is corporate. He's a corporate at the moment, isn't he? So he's corporal. So he goes in. They're all the machine guns, and he gets manages to flank them, gets out, and for this bit, he kind of has a turkey shoot, doesn't he? He gets it literally direct line. Whilst the other ones have been captured, but he's looking directly down the barrel, kind of the down the trenches. They're all kind of thinking they just he's got dun. It's just how much ammo he's got on him. Really, they're not getting out anyway, because if they get up, they're shot by the Americans on the other side, and then they've got nowhere to go. So they quickly. It's the most sensible thing to do is the flag goes up, you come with me, and I can't remember what he shouts now. He's like, "Get yourselves over here," and like that. It's It's great. But yeah, he gets them all down, and then Pusher and him has a moment. Well, what we're gonna do with all this lot? And then one of the whilst they've all got them all lined up, one of the German soldiers throws a grenade, unfortunately, at Pusher. Yeah, it's dramatic enough, I'm guessing, for 1940s. I'm guessing.
Yeah, a lot of the scene is a little dated in terms of the acting.
I'm guessing it's timid as well, because what we're used to, if this was a real grenade like today, you're going to see a bit more carnage. But I'm guessing the senses, you can't show blood. Like, nobody's got any blood marks really on.
No,
they just kind of like throw themselves backwards and fall to the ground.
He's just like, I'm gonna. He gets in, so he dies. Yeah, with a moment of like, I can't remember. He says now. What does he say when he's on the floor? He's like,
it's a Subway related line. It's like, this is it. This is the last stop.
The
Everyone off
the end of the line.
End of the line.
Yeah. That's it. But this is where York gets a bit angry. He's like, who did that? And he shoots the guy who runs away. That's it. But then he kind of tells the officer, get you guys in line, and he fragments to get the next lot to surrender, to give him a shout, and he does it. So we've got the next trench has surrendered as well. And off he pops, and down the line he goes to the nearest.
And nobody wants
ally.
the prisoner.
And he's like, we've got this lot here, and I like this because his back's turned. He's like, well,
how many you got?
Yeah, well, how many you got? 100 and whatever. It's like, last time I counted 100. Well, who's with you? 7. And you're like, what? And I like that. So it's funny. It's just like, how many have you got? And there was only 7 of you. But then from this, we have what was actually real. A board of inquiry happened to establish, because the rumors went out, as we see in this as well. Sergeant York did this, Sergeant York done that. But we need to ensure that this isn't actually, made up, so because it's becoming a fairy tale story, a hero story. So this actually did happen. So how do they portray it how does he do it in his diary?
So as you might be able to guess, incredibly humbly and contemplating, the reasons why he took lives. And as I think he says at some point in the film, thinking about himself as objecting to killing, but then when seeing the killing that was being done to his comrades, he had to make the right decision, and he did, and it was instinctual, but so humble. He never said at one point, look what I did. It was, when he said, well, I captured 132, it was just a matter of math. He was just counting how many there were. There were 132, not taking the personal credit for it. By the way, his war diaries were not allowed, as you could imagine, in any combat situation, because if the enemy gets your diary, they might get information. And it was this major, I think the one who's portrayed here, during an inspection had said, what have you got there, York? And he said, sir, it's my diary. And he says, well, diaries are not permitted, York. And he says, yes, I do, sir. And they just kind of look at each other and have an understanding. And so York was allowed to thankfully, he was allowed to keep his diary. The other cool thing about the diary is it's written in his own hand in his own language. So it's that colloquial Tennessee, a bar and them theirs. And that's not to be disrespectful. That's the way he spoke. He constantly, continuously reaffirmed his faith and wasn't questioning, what he was doing or why he was doing it. He wasn't saying, heaven forgive me, whatever. He kind of came to terms with this was the mission he was sent here for, perhaps by God. And what he did was no great feat. He, attributed it to, being the right person in the right place at the right time, but not wanting any glory for himself.
But yeah, from that we get a little bit of things where the truth's been told, and then the medals start going out. So I can't remember the medals that he gets.
He gets
but
the Legion of France, the Croix de Guerre, the Medal of Honor, then the Congressional Medal of Honor, the Bronze Star, every possible award you can get, and that's General Pershing, giving him his Medal of Honor, his Congressional Medal of Honor there, all of which is true. And he was kind of confused at, again, being a humble person. He was kind of confused at why the big deal, why me, why is this a big deal? And there are plenty of examples throughout U.S. history, and I know in Britain, the Victoria Cross, right? Is that the Victoria Cross? That's
yes,
the big one. The stories that you read about those who've sacrificed, and the amazing, feats of individual heroism. There are many, and there's one kind of parallel story in the United States Civil War. At the Battle of Fredericksburg, there was one cannoneer that was brave enough to take the flanking position, and all by himself. No, his unit wouldn't go with him. His name was Pelham. He goes down as the brave Pelham. But he and his one little cannon and his horse, made it all the way to have the flanking position to attack the guns that were attacking his side. And it's there's in Fredericksburg, Virginia, there's Pelham's Corner, and it's the place where he was all by himself. Now, he didn't die, but he was one of those stories of an army, what we would say now, an army of one. That was kind of a motto or a advertising slogan of the United States Army in the 1990s, be that army of one. And they would use these stories. They would use Sergeant York and Audie Murphy and all these amazing Doolittle, all these men that made such big contributions. But he didn't want that, and he didn't understand it. And so he's traveling around getting these awards, and now he's being offered, even back then, he's being offered movies. He's being offered to be in not films as we know in the 1940s, but to be part of the Ziegfeld Follies. And he rightfully kind of thought that maybe in a way, people were just, sensationalizing what he did, and it wasn't right. And he turned down offer after offer after offer. And then the gentleman who wrote or edited the diaries, which is the book I read, is the edited diaries. His name was Tom Scahill. He finally convinced him to let him visit his homestead and just get to know him. And he finally convinced him that this was a story that could be inspirational for other people. And that's what really kind of turned him around to do this. And that's why this film was made right before, it was literally in theaters during Pearl Harbor. It could have been made sooner. His book could have been published sooner, but for so many years, he didn't want to share his story because he didn't think he deserved all the glory. He thought there were so many people who deserved more than he did. He was a really humble guy until the day he died.
Yeah. So that we get our heroes kind of news articles, the Washington Dispatcher. I did that one to you, Sandy. Is that?
Yeah, not today. We have the Washington.
Not today.
God help us, the Washington Post.
Is that actually real though, Dispatcher? Is that what
it might have been back then?
Yeah.
Yeah. Today it's the Post and the Times.
Yeah, but they just show like ones across the world that he's now not just an American hero, but he's accolades have gone worldwide. And yeah, they go back home to a fun, what do you call it? Like what is this called? Ticket fair? Ticket parade?
Ticker tape parade. It's the tape in the stock exchange. Before there were those electronic boards where the stock prices go around, it was printed out in a punch form on these tapes. And at the end of every day, the ticker tape was thrown out, and they would save the ticker tapes. And for parades, they would toss them out the windows. It kind of made a really cool.
I did not know that. That is a great fact.
I'll have to look up, like, what was the last ticker tape parade? I think it had to do with the space shuttle. What was
It's got to be,
the
yeah.
last ticker tape parade?
It's got to be 60s, isn't it? Yeah, it's got to be.
Oh, dear Lord. I don't want to
Well,
recognize.
go on.
Okay.
Go on. This is saying really silly.
In October of 2024, the New York Liberty won the WNBA championship and was hailed with a ticker tape parade. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to diss women's basketball, but
not quite the same as Sergeant York.
Yeah,
not quite.
I was going to say is you would get it if you've actually, there's something amazing. Yeah, like that.
Like,
yeah,
seriously, yes. So it was like, inaugural
something unique.
parades.
Yeah.
The end of World War II was that huge one. That really huge one. It was there was a one for the Gulf War soldiers after the end of the Gulf War, so that's awesome. Korean and Vietnam War veterans, the 3 Apollo space astronauts. So, but that's obviously quite fitting.
And now women's basketball.
Charles Lindbergh, the American Olympic team from 1924. Yeah, and women's basketball. Yeah. Okay, whatever.
Let's go on then. Yeah. So he gets
kind of cheapens it a little bit. Just
what key is this New York, isn't it? Is this the
key to the city? He's probably like, what in the world is that? Why do I get it?
I always think the key to the city, but what does it actually give you? We do it.
Can I have a gate? Is it a gate I can open?
Like, I can do whatever I want then. Does that mean actually, can I do exactly what I want? You could like, no, it doesn't. It's just like, just symbolism. So like,
just like a trophy.
It's just like, come on. I can just like go into a bar, just like go into a top restaurant and just like go, I'm ordering £5,000 worth of food and I don't have to pay for it because I've got a key. That's it. But whilst he's there, he stays at the Waldorf Astoria.
Good grief.
Was that actually? I know the documentary just said top hotels, so
it could have been. I don't know. I don't know if he actually stayed there, but yeah, there were some quite grand hotels.
Yeah.
They were.
You stay this every week, do you?
No, I have been to the Ritz. I've not been to the Waldorf, but I've been to the Ritz.
Have you, Jay?
Nope.
Is it just a very posh hotel? Is it just?
I've not been there.
I've got no clue.
Is it one of the? Was it Ross? Oh, was it the
Astors?
Rockefeller.
Well, no, it's John Jacob Astor.
Oh, okay.
So that's the Astoria part of it. The Astors.
What's the Rockefeller one then?
They perished on the Titanic. Rockefeller's Rockefeller Center.
Of course.
With the ice rink.
The Plaza is a really nice one, I believe.
Yeah.
But all he cares about, he sees a picture of Mummy. I love that when he just turns around, they put a portrait of, little portrait of his mum, and he's just like, and then this is a great one where again, he gets the phone call, and I bet you, in real life, I bet you they installed the phone in the general store for this purpose. If this actually did happen, I bet you that line wasn't there originally. Because
in one of the corner stores in Baltimore, that was like corner store plus post office plus general store. There, I remember as a kid, there was a phone booth in there, and like the rumor had it was the first phone in that neighborhood, in that corner store, and everybody would come to the corner store, and it was probably in the 1920s. That was the first phone in the neighborhood, and it was on the corner of Elwood and Elliott Street, Elwood Avenue and Elliott Street, and everybody would come in. In real life, I've never seen one like this. I've never actually seen one of these. What are they? They weren't called telephones, talking boxes, call boxes. No, I forget what they're called, but
but yeah, shouting into, "Who's that? I can't hear you."
It's hilarious.
Like,
Just
"No, put
talking.
it to
He's
your
like,
ear."
put it near your ear. Put it near your
Yeah,
ear.
like that. But it's a good little scene. But yeah, coming home, Gracie's happy. They're just all happy. Well, just to hear his voice, and then yeah, he comes to the thing is after being paraded to high society, anybody wants to have their picture taken with him. It's I want to go home. I just want to
He
go
just
home.
wants to go home. Yep.
I just want to go
I mean,
home.
in fairness, after all that, from what he'd been through in war and then
Yeah.
all the commotion with being back in the States, I'd probably just want to go home too.
Yeah, especially you're not a city boy. You're literally
Well,
yeah,
right,
yeah,
like
yeah.
you're total fish out of water in this
You're
scenario.
what?
So.
How do you? What's that word? Give me of what?
Fish out of water.
Rural. No, he's trying to get us to say rural.
Rural.
Country boy.
I kind of get it. Not too bad.
He's a country boy.
But yeah, so they get him back on the train, back home, and everybody's there to meet him, even the nasty guy. He lynched on the thing. But yeah, he gets off. But everybody surrounds him. But he just wants, yeah, I just want my mummy like that. And it's that moment. Hey, yeah, I love that bit. Just literally, mummy, mum, and it is literally, yeah. Even though he's in his 30s, I want to see my mum. That's it. Yeah. They get back in. I say this didn't change to like the 60s. This kind of. I pretend I'm driving.
Fake driving.
I do this.
I try again. I try to be forgiving of these old
Yeah, but you still did it. Like even in some movies in the 70s, still got that. Like that they do that terror about it. It's like they have the backdrop. Yeah, I like it. What's the Quentin Tarantino? Is it Pulp Fiction where they take the piss out of it?
Yeah. I mean, even like all those 70s and 80s sitcoms, The Fall Guy. I just remember like because they were stuntmen. And they were obviously nowhere near like using real.
Yeah, but I always laugh when you drive. You don't drive like this.
I'm
driving in a straight line. It's brilliant. But anyway, so we get back, and then they're having a nice like her and him and Grace have gone off, and yeah, they've gone to the place what he wanted to buy, and somebody's fixed the bridge. Somebody's actually fixed this rickety bridge. And whilst they're having their romantic kind of back together moment, yeah, she kind of gets him to shut up for a moment because he's trying to like he's just rambling on, and then it's just like, come with me, I need to show you something. And then the gift from the state, and it's literally the state have gifted him, was it 200 acres? They built his home, they've given him a farm, really. And then that's how it ends. Literally, yeah, the gift of a thankful nation have given him what he wanted, just live a life in the middle of nowhere on a farm. So yeah, and that's it.
Nothing wrong with that. Nice and peaceful.
No,
but the story doesn't end there. The story doesn't end there.
I'll be right back. Carry on, Sandy.
I will carry on. So when he returned home, if you notice when they were in the hotel and the agent was showing him all the offers, $250,000 before you, he said no to everything. He said no to all the offers, but he said he would accept help for his community. And so he had wanted to start a school. He realized even before he went off to war that he wasn't the most educated person, but he thought education was so important. And so he wanted to start schools and community work and churches. And so anything that would have been gifted to him was gifted to his town to create those schools and educational programs and vocational programs and money for orphans and all kinds of things. Later, he did finally agree to having his diary made into a book. And in addition to the diary, the story he told to Tom Scahill was turned into the book, and the book was eventually turned into the film. He got $150,000, which was a ton of money back then, for the film. And continued to be just such a leader in his community. He died in 1964. So a good, really long life. He lived on now the farm here. This wasn't part of the true story. But he continued to live on the farm that was, I believe it was the farm that was his father's, with his eventually 10 children, along with
Wow.
almost all of his siblings lived good long lives. So he had 10 siblings. And yeah, it was it was a good, he was a family guy. He was definitely
For sure.
uh a family guy. Now I do have my notes to share. Oh, where'd it go? Cancel. You know, I did this successfully multiple times, and then I go to do this one time, and it wants
Well,
to
whilst
disappear.
how did the Patriots do? Did they lose?
They won. They won big
Hey!
time.
Oh,
We
big
are
time.
top of the AFC East, and it feels good to be back where we belong.
There
No,
we go.
good for you. Good for them. As long as Tom Brady's not there, I'm good. I'm good with that.
No, Drake is looking like another menace to the rest of the league. So you guys might have another one to deal with up here in New England.
Seriously, it never ends up there. So the film, as I mentioned, was released in 1941 and was still in theaters when the attack on Pearl Harbor occurred on December 7th. The name of the book is Sergeant York, His Own Life Story and War Diary. It was adapted by Abam Finkel, Harry Chandley, and Howard Cook, directed by Howard Hanks. Some scenes were filmed in Pall Mall, Tennessee, just a few tiny shots, but the majority of the film was filmed at the Warner Brothers Studios in California. The film, as we've mentioned, stars Gary Cooper, Walter Brennan, who is in a ton of Westerns. When we finally do get a Western, maybe we'll get one today, it's a chance Walter Brennan, and that's the preacher, preacher store owner guy, eyebrows, will be in it. Joan Leslie, who, as I mentioned, is also the gal in Yankee Doodle Dandy. Margaret Wykerly was the mom. She was also nominated for an Oscar. And Dickie Moore was the brother. And I do have an and page here. I have a second page here because it's so important to share this information. I'm going to share my next screen. And in addition to all of those actors, you may or may not be aware that the sister in the film was played by June Lockhart, who just passed away about a week and a half ago. And you can see her there in the top left, playing the sister, the younger sister of Alvin. But she was the mom on Lassie. She was the mom in Lost in Space. And she was such a beautiful and kind lady. And she played a ton of roles in different television shows throughout her 100-year life.
Wow.
She's known
Oh,
as
yeah.
America's mom because she played
Oh.
the mom on the farm. Lassie ran for, I didn't realize this because I really never watched it,
I hated
208
Lassie.
208 episodes of Lassie from
Wow.
1958 to 1964. And then Lost in Space had 84 episodes from 1965 to 1968. She also made an appearance in the Lost in Space movie that was in the 1990s. But just an absolute beautiful woman. And I know that some people think that, Queen Elizabeth was sort of the grandma of the world. June Lockhart was the mom of America. And she made it to 100. God bless her. What would you all say? Good innings to her?
Yes, good innings. Good innings.
Good innings to her. And then lastly, let's talk about these numbers because these are some good numbers here for this film. Sergeant York was the #1 film in 1941. And you may be shocked that Gone with the Wind was #2 and that Dumbo is #6. Now, why? And Citizen Kane #9. Why do I bring up those 3 films in particular? So Gone with the Wind, adjusted for inflation, is always, sometimes viewed as, one of or the highest grossing film in history. So how could Sergeant York be the highest grossing film in 1941? Because Gone with the Wind crossed over 2 years. And that's why. So the total box office for Gone with the Wind exceeded Sergeant York. But in 1941, Sergeant York was the highest grossing film. I mentioned Dumbo. Why in the world am I mentioning Dumbo? Because on the list of highest franchises adjusted for inflation, believe it or not, this is what cracks me up. Because there was a sequel to Dumbo, Dumbo is the highest grossing franchise when adjusted for inflation and when you neutralize for the number of films. So Dumbo only had 2 films. If you average the takings from Dumbo and Dumbo 2, which was extremely low, it's all Dumbo 1, it made more than, like, if you were to take whatever we called the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which had 41 films, if you divide it by 41, the per film average of a franchise, Dumbo is the highest adjusted for inflation. I know it's crazy.
No kidding.
And then you have what
It's a good time though, isn't it? Literally, if you think about 1941 for a kids movie,
Yep.
you want to get that
Everyone
in.
went.
Yeah,
Everyone
everybody.
went to the
You-
movies because, as I mentioned
Yeah.
last week, everyone went to the movies because that's where you got your newsreel.
Mm.
That you wanted to know what was going on in the world. You went to the cinema because you got your newsreel, you got your shorts, you got a cereal, you got, you were there all day. It was an event. And then number 9, Citizen Kane, hopefully one day we'll have a really long conversation about that. Some would consider on this list the best film. Some would consider on any list the best film was Citizen Kane, but didn't have the box office takings that Sergeant York did, which today would be 377 million adjusted for inflation versus the 16 million adjusted for inflation budget. So really a huge box office win, but more so, as we've discussed, a propaganda win, a patriotism win. This film does make folks, feel red, white, and blue. Gary Cooper got the Oscar for Best Actor, and the film also won the Oscar for editing. It was nominated for 6 other Oscars, including Best Picture, and believe it or not, Citizen Kane didn't win Best Picture. How Green Was My Valley won Best Picture. So again, the whole kind of Americana theme was a big deal. And when you look at 1939, 1940, and 1941, you just can't go wrong with the films that were produced between 1939. I mean, these are called the golden years, because you start with I think it's 1939 was The Wizard of Oz, Hunchback of Notre Dame, the ones that were just considered, bellwethers. And then you get to 1941 and you've got Gone with the Wind and you've got Citizen Kane. I mean, again, I despair. I go to the cinema today. I go to the mall or whatever, the shopping center. You can't just say, oh, let's go to the movies. We got a few extra hours. You can't do it. There's nothing. There's nothing there.
All good. All good.
Would you like me to go on with my review?
No, I'm going to actually do mine first.
You do your first.
Because I'm the Brit.
You're
you're the Americans, and this is an American movie. And as it was my pick as the Brit. I think I got it on first. I'm sure, Sandy, would you put this on?
I didn't think of it actually because my brain was on Yankee Doodle Dandy for this era, but I didn't really think about it.
No. Now,
glad you did.
This is one of these movies. I think Sandy has the same sentiment, and Jay, you've got sentiment for other movies that we have spoken. Will you sit down with your granddad? And you watched it with your granddad, and I think I've said that I've got like the Cruel Sea on there, like on our list. Like, just watch it with your granddad, and that's it. You go around, he give you something you aren't supposed to eat, like some chocolate treat or something like that, and whatever it was, like a ginger beer and whatever it was. And then we're watching, especially on the Brits, we watch Channel 4. And they always had that movie matinee things, and it always used to be something black and white, and it always used to be like it was a war movie, and it reminds me of that point. So for that, it's got a special place because it brings it into me. But for me, now I'm going to go with is it a great movie? There's flaws in it. I can guarantee flaws, but it's one of my favorite movies of all time. I just really adore this movie. I think it's a great story. It's heartwarming. It's it's very well structured. To say we got the background, you can take Gary Cooper's Too Old. Do I care? I don't care. I think it's a very good, just lifting up movie. You know, like this is what we can do. You know, movie. I just think it's a lot of fun. I think it's a great fun movie. It is what Hollywood that time period they try to do with these movies. Just make it, you know what, you want to come out of the movies with a smile on your face. It's like, yeah, we can do anything. We can do that. So I always score this movie quite high. I score it as an 8. And it's because it's just a favorite movie. It's one of my top 10 movies. If somebody said top 10, this is in there somewhere. I just adore it. I think it's a simple story about a real man, plagiarized or whatever you want to call it. It's a good one of those American tale stories, I suppose you want to call it, of like, you know, an underdog can do it, and it always seems like it always comes from America. So the American studios did it well, you know, with a Tennessee guy. Yeah, they play on the point quite a lot in this movie. That people from Tennessee, especially that area, aren't the smartest on, you know, a pencil in the box. Let's put it that way. But do I care? I don't care. I just think it's it's just a good story. I just think it gets you where it's supposed to get you. And yeah, it doesn't need to be over dramatized, especially with the First World War scenes. It's a First World War movie, but really most of it is just about the beginning of the beginning of the war for the Europeans. But that 2-year span of Sergeant York, that is it. Before he's Sergeant York, before he's like that, he's just Alvin. So yeah, I like it. Does it need a more of a love story? I don't think it does. I think it's subtle enough to let you know that. I just adore it. I just think it's a good favorite of mine. So that's all I have to say. I just bloody love it.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah,
fair enough.
Well said. Jay, why don't you go?
Sure. So obviously, as I've mentioned many times, I have not seen many black and white movies in general. Never mind the specific genre of black and white war movies. So I don't have the biggest frame of reference on how to compare these. I don't think I'm the most equipped person to really rate these types of movies analytically, and I would consider it to be entirely unfair to try to use my regular scale for movies against these ones. So, you know, I'm not super analytical on this one. I thought generally, I guess I'll go with the cons first so I can end with the good. I think generally it was just a little bit too dated in a lot of ways. I think kind of what Sandy pointed to, some of the sets and things like that. Even for the fact, like I just said, I don't have a huge frame of reference to compare it to. It did, like, even just the ones we've done, like Sink the Bismarck, for example. I think it just felt a little bit more dated in terms of the sets and, you know, some of the general acting, like the war scenes and all that, when you see the guys just kind of flopping around and all that. I don't know, just I guess for me, something like Sink the Bismarck, because they use such a combination of smaller, easier kind of sets to use, like a lot of it was in these kind of offices that they were having conversations in, and little war room type things. And then it was mixed with, you know, real footage of some ships and planes and things like that. I think it all kind of melded better together. Versus this one where it's all set based, it kind of does show through a little bit that it is, and I guess kind of a negative way, but not enough that really, like, I would say ruin the movie or anything for me. I generally enjoyed the watch in the sense of I thought the story was really interesting, and I think learning about Alvin York, because I really didn't know much about Alvin York. I've known the name Sergeant York, I just didn't know anything about the story. So getting some of that information was interesting. And I think, like we always point out with history-based movies, it's really cool when a movie makes you want to learn more about actual history. And this one did that. I'd like to watch a proper documentary on this whole thing just to get a real good look at, or a better in-depth look at, you know, what went on in his life and how he got from essentially where he started in Tennessee to where he then finished in Tennessee. I would say, I think probably a little bit too much leaning into his Tennessee background in the beginning. I kind of expected it to be more based on the war part of the movie, and that felt like kind of a shorter end to it all. But on the pros side of it, again, thought it was really interesting. It sparked my interest for looking into Alvin York more. I would say generally in terms of acting for the era, it seemed on par. I didn't really have an issue with anything at all. They all seemed kind of acting like 1930s, 40s era acting, so I didn't have much of a problem there. In terms of a score, it's so hard for me to score movies like this, just because I'm such a fish out of water with this genre. My gut number is something like a 5.5, where I enjoyed it. I just felt like it dragged on a little bit too much and was a little bit dated, and so that kind of hurt it from being a little bit higher for me. And again, this is kind of a totally different scale. I really can't stress that enough on how I'm really not the most equipped person to rate these. But part of Film Club is that I'm seeing more and more of these. So eventually, hopefully by the end of this 300 movies we have, I will be more equipped to rate these kind of movies. But I give it around like a 5.5. I recommend it. I think it did a lot to spark my interest in history, or this portion of history, which always I think I have to give good credit to a movie, because had it been a worse movie in terms of a viewing experience, I probably wouldn't want to look into it too much. So I think that's kind of like my best thermometer to say how I enjoyed it, is that it made me want to learn more about Alvin York. So yeah, there's that.
Fair enough.
Now, but Jay, you said you don't feel equipped to rate it, but everyone should feel equipped if it's your opinion is your valid opinion, and others may
true.
feel the way you do as well, because this is it's a kind of a fish out of water film, a film out of water film for generations today. So
sorry, can I completely disagree there, because I think he was completely wrong about Princess Bride.
Well, then, that's different. Yeah, we're gonna have
I don't know. I'm sensing some bias. I think there was just some strong bias on Princess Bride.
We're gonna have to put him in the Highlander.
I know,
group for
Jade's
that.
still angry. Jade's still angry.
Oh, poor thing. I'm sorry, Jade.
Long as he doesn't think Braveheart is a masterpiece.
That one. I'm gonna be honest. All those Mel Gibson movies are super overrated. Watched them once and never went back.
Yeah, I think one of these ones. I think there's movies that fit quite in a different category. Now, I said this is a great propaganda movie.
It is.
This
Mm-hmm.
is. There's no doubt.
And that's kind of a part of it too that I forgot to mention. It does kind of give you that little bit of like rah rah, let's go America feel, which was a pro as an American. Like that's a pro for me. So I did actually forget to mention that.
But I say, like, when you get that, like the acting around that time, they all act the same.
Yeah, that's why right. And it's hard to critique them for that.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, but like you can understand, like Gary Cooper, when he's doing the acting, he's really good in it. And then they do bits where you're like, oh, they're just doing 1930s, 1940s, like the over the top, like moments. You're like, oh, just let him act, because that's why he got the Oscar. Because when he did it, actually, they just went do the script.
Yeah,
he does it really well. But when they do that, as I say, like that Gone in the Wind moments and stuff like that, it's that Hollywood acting that's always over the top. And you just like drag it in, let's let them act, because they are actors. And when they do it really well. And like the only person like who later on lets them really do it, these older actors, when they get to like that, like especially like James Stewart, is Hitchcock. He lets them. Oh, you can act. I don't want over the top. I want acting. Unfortunately. 1940s, this
right.
one,
and that's kind of the general thing with this era of acting, that is kind of hit or miss for me. The more they lean into that over the top, the more I kind of get like, this feels really dated.
Yeah, but can you imagine
that's the era, so it's really hard to judge them for it, because there was no current era of acting back then. That was the current era. That is what it was. So I just feel unfair to criticize them for it.
Yeah, in 80 years' time, people might have a film club part 2, and they might film Twilight was a masterpiece.
Yeah, you never know. You never know.
But I like to think that when when we talk about that kind of acting, that yes, it gets on my nerves too. And you mentioned Hitchcock, and there are a few others that, and someone can correct me because I'm just making this up myself, but Hitchcock knew how to create a film with kind of the less is more, right? Even though he did amazing things with with lighting and set design. He did the less is more with the acting. When you look at his films, there's very little dialogue. The dialogue is sparse, and what fills in that negative space is the set design, the little subtle looks. And it's kind of like when you're writing a mystery story, the best mystery writers, they write in the negative space, meaning it's more important what they leave out than what they put in. Except don't talk about Glass Onion, because that's like the dumbest film ever made, ever.
I've actually never watched that. I watched his
Don't.
first one, and I thought it wasn't enough for me to want to watch the second one.
Well, the Knives Out
There's a
one,
third one, yeah.
awful.
There's
Oh
a
my
third
God.
one coming out, I believe.
But they're, he's trying to say that he makes films in quote the negative space. No, he doesn't. No, he makes stuff up, and it doesn't make sense.
He
But anyway,
just
but
makes
back to
shit
this
up and then
film.
tries to tie it together with stuff he never
Yes,
had.
with stuff that never happened. But I gave this film a 6.5. I like the effort. I like what it's trying to do, and I agree with you, James. This is a propaganda film, and it does everything it needs to do. But in my head, I keep trying to accidentally or not comparing this to Yankee Doodle Dandy, which I love very much. Like for me, this is that. While I've seen this film and I've seen it with my grandfather, Yankee Doodle Dandy was that one that, because at the heart of that film actually is the songwriter who's trying to write the songs to get everyone, energized around the war effort. And I just, it's probably unfair of me to compare this. In terms of the story, there are plots in this film that didn't need to be there, and there are plots in the real life story that were missed that would have been just as interesting or maybe more interesting than what made it, survive the cutting room floor, as they say. The subplot about the buying the land, that didn't happen. The lightning strike didn't happen. There's so many things that didn't happen, but there were parts of his life that were much more interesting. And I know they couldn't have made the parts after the war because that happened in the 50s and this film was made in 1941. But even before the war, I know, we did cover a lot of his life before the war. They could have taken the land subplot out and put some other things in there about him reflecting on his lack of education, because that ties into what he did later in life by, building schools. As for historic accuracy, I give it a C plus. Do give it a C plus. There's a plus there. The book, which is The Life of Sergeant York from his War Diaries by Tom Scahill, I give a 7.5 to the book because I think the book is really well done. I recommend it. I definitely recommend it. It is an important film. It definitely had an impact. It was put into the National Film Registry in 2008 as an historically significant film, and therefore is preserved at the Library of Congress, and definitely worth a watch. And for its historic accuracy in the film, outside of the particulars around some of the things Sergeant York did, capturing the time period of the Battle of the Meuse-Argonne is an important story to tell. And so I do recommend watching this film and reflecting on the history that was happening at that time.
It's good. I always think like when Hollywood now or when Netflix or wherever you go does it wrong, because why don't they revisited All Quiet on the Western Front? Okay, they revisited it and they made it modern day. I like the modern one. I just think the original just it's great. It's really well done. Like these propaganda movies, and you have them on both sides. I'm probably not the Second
How many
World
of you
War
watched
German
the other side?
Yeah, that side. I meant like that. But these First World War, and then you got like the British kind of, and I mean the British and American side.
Right.
Yeah.
Their First World War or Second World War ones, they got some great stories. They were restrained, and I like even with Sink the Big Mark, they're restrained because you had to use stock footage. A lot of it, like even you got like to do it. But now, like, can you imagine this done? How they could romanticize it. They could have
Well,
it
yeah,
greatly
I'm
done
really
and like
surprised they
open out. But
haven't.
there's like other there's other hero, like I'm going to go by Hollywood stand. If you go by the heroes and like the romanticize of what Hollywood do with the normal people, I suppose, and
Yeah.
then bring him to film at that time, why haven't they done that? What is wrong about seeing an American hero? You don't really get them anymore. The last one, was it Chad Powers on Netflix?
Well,
that's the last
in
one.
fairness, I don't know how interested Hollywood is in doing stories of American heroes right now.
But like,
they seem to write their own stuff.
But how was it? But you got like
you
from
would
the 80s,
think-
like you had that like the American dream, like you had like Top Gun, everybody loved it,
Yeah.
and then like
Just a
you got
different
now
era.
but you've got these like, why are they making movies like The Running Man's just been made? That's not that. Like that's 40 years, if like less, and then you got like they're just 10 years ago we're gonna remake that, and now but you got you like go for like, why are you doing like stuff where you got blockbusters from the 1930s 1940s that people loved, and you can modernize it, not just to modernize it but give people a sense of history.
Yeah, like I
You
can
know,
picture
why
this
isn't it?
story of Alvin York in like a 4-part miniseries that would be
Yes.
phenomenal. I
Yeah.
think that could
I
be phenomenal.
don't think Hollywood is interested in history.
Right.
I don't think anyone's interested in history, which is really sad. I think they're interested in retelling and recasting history to fit a narrative.
Unfortunately, yeah.
I'm not any one side or the other. I'm just saying it's a political game on both sides. And it's cheaper to make cheap garbage that's just recycled over and over again, and then to actually do it right. Like, to do it, you have to do it right. And I just don't think they would. I just don't think there would be the investment.
There's not a right, because everything they redo at the moment is just a rehash of the original screenplay. This would need tailoring out.
They're interested in the history of pop culture and redoing the history of pop culture more than anything else. The few actual historical things that they do, as Sandy just alluded to, or pretty much just basically pointed out, they tend to want to rewrite it in the way that they want to have it revisioned now. I just don't think unfortunately, whether you like it or not, it politics bleeds into pop culture, or one way or the other, whichever it is. I think Nerdrotic used to always say the saying of pop culture's upstream from politics. I always forget one of the ways he said it, but the two and two always kind of go in hand. I always thought it was actually a good phrase for it. And unfortunately, right now, I just don't think that's what Hollywood wants to do. They don't want to tell many, American hero stories like this, I guess, which is odd to me, because like you had something like Band of Brothers that is still, loved to this day and referenced as one of the greatest series of all times. And it's something like this, I think, could lend itself to being just as good. I mean, you could do a small little mini series to give the background of him, how he got to the war, what he did in the war, and the reception after. I mean, literally 4-part miniseries, bang, done. And it would probably be awesome if you put the right effort into it. I just don't think Hollywood's interested in stories like Alvin York right now.
I also think they're just dumb, because what was that?
Well, yeah, that's a part of it too.
But the thing is, they did that. Who was the guy who played Elvis in the latest one? Well, one of the latest ones.
Austin Butler.
In Dune. Yeah, he did that.
Forgot how to just talk.
And
normal.
he did that. That flying thing.
Fly. Was it Fly Boys? No, what was it called?
No, it wasn't Flying Boys. Oh, we have to look, because I gave it terrible reviews.
Masters of the Air.
Something like that. Yeah, that sounds right.
That was
and
the
they
book.
didn't know
the series. Okay.
And they did not know how to write characters. They had original people and didn't know how to write characters. Looking at it like Band of Brothers specific, they actually went, we're going to build the narratives on everything around the characters, and
on
then
who
give
they
them characters.
Actually were.
And they actually think that they just didn't do that. Just had no connection. It was just like people getting a plane and then having really bad CGI. I just think
that's what they
but they think, but that's it. 10 seconds. Give me 10 seconds is on TikTok. That's all I need. That's it. They just didn't care about giving you an emotional connection with the characters. Like Band of Brothers, everybody loves. I always forget how short that series is. and it just emotional connection
There
with
should be
everybody.
more. I know every
Yeah,
time when
yeah.
it ends, it's like, I want more. I want
Yeah,
more.
but that's it. That is a great.
It's
That is
in-
storytelling for you. Is how
Right.
you get a connection straight. Bang! I know these people.
But also
I
how you
am-
keep
I'm
it
with them.
authentic, right? It's
Yeah.
authentic to history. It's authentic to the real people who are part of it. It's and it's again, it's incredibly well received. It was incredibly well received. It's still well loved. People love it for all those reasons. The effort put into it from every standpoint of just making a series, but also the little bits of the actual footage of the, you know, the soldiers as they're older, speaking on these events that are going to take place in the episode you're about to watch, and just everything about it is so authentic. It's so engaging. It's so just kind of sobering. Like I remember watching it was just like, for me, it was just a reminder of like, dude, you have lived for all the troubles. You know, everybody's got troubles in life. Nobody lives a perfectly easy life. But when you see something like that, the first thing coming out of it is, oh my God, dude, I have lived such an easy, blessed life. And it's because of people like this who went through this hell to make sure that I could have like that sobering realization of what people have sacrificed. I mean, to get to me to be able to watch a show about it, sitting on my couch in my pajamas, eating popcorn, like it's a crazy concept. And the impact and emotional impact, the just realization of like, damn, man, life is a crazy ride for some people. I mean, that stuff sticks forever. And that's why Band of Brothers is such a good show to this day and one that people love. And I haven't seen anything like that in terms of like war-based movies or shows. Like even what was probably the best, most recent one? Maybe like Dunkirk. Best recent.
I liked 1917.
I didn't see 1917. I did want to watch it. I got to circle back to it.
Yeah,
I have heard really good. So let's say it's that one. It's that
1917 and then Dunkirk. Yeah,
and then
easily. Yeah.
Then what? Like it just doesn't feel like
I said that even Private Ryan. I mean, there's
right. So you're going decades between all of these. It's.
I say like old client on the Western Front.
It's a shame. They should tell these stories more. I mean, because again, it does it. And it's not just like, oh, it would make a great show. It's for all the reasons I just explained about Band of Brothers, the knowledge it gives you of what these people went through, and again, that just humbling like respect you have for them of like, oh my God, I can't believe these poor people, these poor men went through this kind of stuff. It gives you such a respect as well. So like that's the kind of double effect that these kind of shows and movies have, is that it's not just, oh, it would be a great story. It teaches you something. Yes, it is a good story. It's an interesting story, obviously. I mean, good is a weird term to use for that, but it's a very interesting story. It teaches you something about history, and it teaches you something about respecting people who have laid their lives down or have even just gone to battle and come back with all these traumas for the freedoms we have now. So I just don't know why there's not more of it.
We have other channels. I know say it as well when other people have said, I wonder if it's like a funding issue. And I mean this is because there's the tick box.
Yep.
If you do a Second World War, First World War thing, like especially First World War, you're not ticking many boxes, are you?
No.
Right.
This book, like you're not going to do it. Like unfortunately, like it's the time period. It's like that, and you can't. You know, people forget, and this is where like history gets deleted. No, we're in a different period of time. People acted differently because everything was alienated. The world wasn't small enough because transportation, like aircraft. Sorry, so if you did like First World War, what are you going to do? You're not going to have certain tick boxes in the trenches with you. It ain't going to work, is it? Because people are like, oh.
Well, and that's like the what I mean essentially with just politics in Hollywood and pop culture. Like they're hand in hand. They run along the same stream, whichever one it is. I want to say the saying was politics is downstream from pop culture. I think that's what the saying
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah.
But in general, regardless of how you want to look at it, upstream, downstream, they're on the same damn stream. So they affect one another. And that's part of it. I think just it's a different political climate right now where that's just not what Hollywood's interested in making, I guess.
Yeah. But they wouldn't get who's that? What's the guy we keep seeing? He was in Platoon and in Tigerland. Was he in Tigerland? Was it Tigerland? Yes, it was Tigerland. The real guy from Vietnam. He was like a major.
Oh, hang on. The list.
What is his name? Yeah, what is his name?
List.
He's on that, but they wouldn't hire that guy. He's blatantly like a very just American side. Hollywood ain't gonna hire an ex army Republican. You can tell that's what he like. Strong
Hollywood doesn't
would
even
not
like
do that.
Henry Cavill giving you
There you go.
telling you how to do
I
The
know.
Witcher. Never mind.
Yeah.
Never mind that.
I know everything about
know
the
what I mean?
geekdom. I can help you make money.
No,
Oh,
we're
I
good.
can't find his name.
No,
I
but you
didn't
know
put
what I'm
him on
about.
the
But
actor list.
Right?
I
No,
know who you're talking
exactly.
about. Yeah.
I mean, if they don't have
yeah. But that's it. They
yeah.
won't have that person on set. Like, oh my god, you know what? I'm gonna have a true. You know what? I've seen so many military things, and I'm not saying I was like, you know, army or whatever, special forces, and I just go, oh my god, they're holding the rifles wrong. How did you get that wrong? And even like there was one of the Star Wars one, and they couldn't even bother to get them to march in order. And I was like, why?
Oh,
and
God,
like,
I didn't even
you
notice
don't,
that.
you don't like if your things, you don't hold your rifle left-handed, right-handed when you're marching. You will hold it
Same way.
you know, like, same way.
Oh,
It's
that's
like, oh bloody
That's
hell.
funny. I've never seen
yeah,
that. That's funny.
It's like, what are you doing? And it's just
Yeah,
like
it's
silly little things like that. You're like, how did you not pay somebody who was ex-military or whatever to go?
Because you've got bloated.
Time.
You've got bloated staff everywhere else in the
Yeah.
writer's room, the production room, the cutting room floor. I mean, there's just it's bloated staff most likely across the board. Where I mean, this is my assumption, of course. I don't know. I'm not in Hollywood. I don't know what the hell goes on there, but I would guess that much like a lot of kind of corporations and things in life, it's bloated staff of people who don't really know what they're doing, and then you kind of don't feel like hiring the people who do know what they're doing. So you get what you get.
Yep. Every industry seems to be happening that way at the moment. Gaming, unfortunately, we're bleeding it at the moment until somebody comes up with a new Hollywood or something, and then they realize what they're doing wrong. But next, well, is it Jay? You might need to change next week. Is it?
So I can't do next Saturday, but if we want to do Sunday again, that's cool.
Okay. If you, we'll work out. But next week we've got, whose pick was this? It was your two.
This was a collective kind of thing. We were just chatting about it one day, and I think
we realized it wasn't on the list. I think.
Yes. So this is. I found a trailer too. I'm going to play the second trailer to this.
Oh, good.
Because I got hit by the music.
Oh no!
And I'm still in dispute with them. That was it. So some of them I get good, and some of them like go away. But yeah, we're.
My worst one was from a museum. By the way, I was filming outside of a museum. The music that was playing was the Museum of the American Indian that's what it is called, by the way. It's not called Native American. It's called the Museum of the American Indian. It's a Smithsonian Museum in Washington, D.C. Music plays outside. Native music plays outside. I'm filming outside. They will not release the claim. They will not release the claim. So I had to delete that part of the video. I was really
I always say, guys, if you do get a claim, any YouTubers, oh my God, some AI systems are great at getting you out because they know the terminology. And the worst thing is, I'm in the UK and it's all US law. And it's great. You just put that crap in, and it's just like, yep, I'm off.
I did all the things, and they're like, nope, we decide not to.
No, some things, but yeah,
I'm just whining. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's fine. But yeah, so this is the second trailer without the music, but this is the second trailer to the Grand Budapest Hotel. And I'm guessing this would be now World War II movie, theoretically.
Yeah, it is.
We need to update our list of what wars we've like.
I told you we've got a lot of World War II. Yeah,
it's always going to win. It's going to win. Anyway, here we go.
Incidents that follow were described to me exactly as I present them here, and in a wholly unexpected way.
Who's this interesting old fellow?
Don't you recognize him?
May I invite you to dine with me tonight? And it will be my pleasure to tell you my story.
Let's blow.
Something's missing. I don't know what it contains. I don't know what it represents. I don't know what it is. But there are traces and shadows of it everywhere.
Nobody's saying it's a stroll down a tree-lined promenade with the fine lady in the white poodle, but it's got what you'd call vulnerability.
I fear this may be the last time we ever see each other.
Why on earth would that be the case?
I can't put it into words, but I feel it.
They threatened my life, and now they murdered my only family.
No. Who'd they kill this time?
His body was found stuffed in a sarcophagus behind a storage room at the Kunstmuseum late last night. He was short 4 fingers.
Tell him Joplin says, come home.
culture.
Stop! I can't! I can barely steer!
Where's out the window? Tell no one. He'll explain everything. What happened? What happened, my dear Zero, is I beat the living shit out of a sniveling little runt called Pinky Bandinsky.
I
You should take a
love
long
this
look at his
film.
ugly mug this morning. He's actually become a dear friend.
He's so good in this. He's
So
good in
much
everything,
good
but
acting
it's
in
just
that
this
list.
film.
There's
so
so
funny.
many people in there.
Yeah.
It's just every day. I forgot Bill Murray's in it as well.
Mhm.
It's
I
like
This
mean,
would be our second
Asbury
Bill Murray.
Abraham, we're going to hopefully see Amadeus at some point, but he's one of those actors who can just like inhabit a role and you don't know it's him. Like you never know it's him, but it's him.
Mhm.
Kind of like Michael Sheen does sometimes, but such a fun film. And it's
Yeah, I'm looking
interesting.
forward to that one.
Yeah.
I want to say it's my favorite Wes Anderson. I'd have to kind of look at a list of
Ooh.
them all,
I have to
but
look at his list again. Yeah.
I
have to
want to
look
say
up
it's my favorite Wes Anderson. I feel fairly confident in that, but I'd have to look at his filmography again.
2 seconds. What's going? Sorry, I've got
Hang on.
something.
Let's see.
We have
Okay. So yeah, I don't like the Royal Tannenbaums. So
Yeah, that's overrated.
he's got.
I didn't like Moon Knight Kingdom.
Oh, okay.
Oh my gosh, there's so many.
I went on a whole binge
Oh, the
of watching
Darjeeling
them.
Limited. I did like that one. Okay, I like that one.
I don't believe I've actually seen that
Rushmore.
one.
Gotta like Rushmore.
Let me look here while I'm sitting as well.
I don't know.
I've never seen The French Dispatch.
I actually
The
have
thing
not
is,
seen
you
that
probably
either.
will see something, and you would like some of them are just like, oh, that was good, but just so you don't
This
go
one
back
was
to them.
just, I mean, it was created to be a series, literally a series of paintings, right? A series of scenes. And the works that it's based on, the writer is, I have to always look at it because I always forget his name and it's terrible. It is
Daryl wants a Western.
Stefan Zweig. It's the works of Stefan Zweig. An Eternal Optimist.
I actually did like the Fantastic Mr. Fox. I really love that movie.
I've not seen that one yet.
I've not seen it either.
Really like that one.
It's got good reviews though, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's like a
Nice,
stop
yeah.
motion type thing. It's honestly really good. A lot of the same cast. Bill Murray's in it. Willem Dafoe, Owen Wilson, Jason Schwartzman, George Clooney's the main character. But a lot of his regulars. It's good though. I really liked it actually.
Well, should we find out what is the week after?
I'm excited.
Let's do it. Let's do this. And yeah, Daryl's still hoping Western.
It has to be a Western now.
Eventually, Daryl. Eventually,
so
we'll
many
get it.
actors from Sergeant York were in Westerns, so it kind of has to be a Western.
There we go. Let's do this. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hopefully, Western for Daryl. What's it going to be?
Is it a Western?
Oh, okay. No.
Oh, wow.
Never heard of this.
What?
When I think of Sinbad, I think of the comedian.
Get that.
Oh, I forgot about the comedian. Goodness gracious.
Yeah,
Whatever happened to him?
I think he's still. I don't think he does much, but I swear he was in Shazam recently. Okay, and not to be part of the whole, because there's a whole like, what's the Mandela effect thing about him having been in a genie movie named Shazam back in the day?
Yes. Yes.
There's that whole Mandela effect with him, but I think he actually showed up in. Oh yeah, there you go.
We got an Easton.
I think he shows up in the sequel to Shazam, like the Zachary Levi superhero movies. I think it was kind of like a casting that was a bit of a joke. I could be wrong though. I'd have to check in on that.
So James, this is going to be one of those films.
Mm-hmm.
I think that we call it a something film, but we're not referring to the director or any actors. We're referring to the creative director. This is a Ray Harryhausen film.
Yes.
And it's like what do you call it? Clash of the Titans and a whole bunch of other of those sort of films that were done you mentioned stop motion. This is what do we call it? Is it claymation? Do we call it claymation?
I don't know. I can't remember.
I think it's claymation. So we always called these films the Ray Harryhausen films because it's that kind of animation, whatever it's called for the
Stop
creatures.
motion. I don't know.
Stop
what you call it.
motion, yeah, for the Clash of the Titans, for this one, for Jason and the Argonauts, all those were created, directed artistically by Ray Harryhausen.
Yeah. Let's do
this. And I was wrong. He was not in the Shazam sequel. I think that was just a rumor at the time.
See,
he has been in a few things. Yeah. He has been in a few things lately, though.
I would be surprised when you see the trailer if you go, I've seen this. Let's do this. Let's do a trailer.
Here is the Columbia Pictures star, Katharine Grant, as she appears in the 7th voyage of Sinbad.
You know, a girl has to be awfully careful where she goes and what she does these days, because she can wind up in the most unexpected places. For instance, inside a magic lamp.
Welcome, Princess Parissa.
I want to tell you about one of the most unusual, most spectacular motion pictures ever made. Shot in Moorish Spain. Truly an Arabian Nights setting for the most dazzling of all the Arabian Nights adventures. The 7th voyage of Sinbad. In settings like these, the cameras have created breathless spectacles. Let me show you
That's not a narration of her, is
the
it?
most celebrated adventurer of all times.
She's selling it.
His most thrilling
Yeah,
voyage.
this can't be the trailer. Let's see what it was.
Oh, there it is.
Let me find a better trailer though. Let's find a better trailer. That was not. That's the creature. There we go. That's
the claymation. Jay, have you ever seen the original Clash of the Titans?
I have not, but I have seen clips of it. So I am familiar with this style of claymation
like very stuttery claymation, but it was groundbreaking for the time.
Oh,
it
I'm
was
sure.
Before computer generated, and as a kid, it was just so cool. You know, it was just so cool. These films.
This one looks a bit more cheesy.
More cheesy.
Journey to a magical
Oh
time.
yeah.
When demons
There
and
you go.
heroes battled for the golden treasures and human spoils of forgotten kingdoms. Kill him. Thrilled to the story of a legendary superhero who fights through all the torments of hell to save the woman he loves from the world's most powerful sorcerer. This is Sinbad's greatest adventure. The 7th voyage of Sinbad. She was once a beautiful princess. The sadistic magician shrinks her to the size of a tiny doll. And now, Sinbad must do the impossible to save her. He must destroy a legion of hell-spawned monsters on the death-shrouded island of Colossa. See the flashing death of the living skeleton. See the attack of the giant two-headed bird. See the dance of the Cobra Woman and feel her deadly slithering embrace. See the spectacular battle between the one-eyed Cyclops and the fire-breathing dragon. The incredible magic of Dynarama recreates the enchanted, breathtaking adventure that could never be told before. The 7th voyage of Sinbad.
The Dynarama in Technicolor, but
it's like a B movie, but great
such
for
a
its
B
time.
movie.
It honestly looks like good cheesy fun. I'm excited to watch that one.
There's more Sinbad, but sorry, Sandy, you have a book to read then.
I do. Oh, I'm not reading the whole thing. No, I'm not. Sorry.
Do it, Sandy.
Don't call me
This is a very
Scheherazade.
old one.
No, I am
The Arabian Nights.
not reading the tales of the Arabian Nights. I'll just pluck out
gold leaf.
Sinbad.
Gold
Yeah.
leaf.
It's nice. That's really nice.
That's really. I don't even know how old this one is. Should we have a look? So it's just to upset Sandy. She'll be like, "Oh, how old is this one?" What year do you think this one is? This is
1947.
Can you imagine it was original edition? And like, damn it. So it's not in Arabic. So it's
Written on a tablet in Arabic. Yeah. 1947.
1865.
No.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Yeah, it's really old, this one. I'd never really open it.
Oh my gosh, that's fantastic.
There you go. But leave it there. So yeah, there's Gold Leaf. Yeah. So one of my older books given down to me. So it's like, so like the paper's so thin, I'm scared to read it.
Vellum. Yeah.
That is literally like, oh no. But yeah, that one, I'm rather go online and then ruin that book. So, but yeah, there we go. Yeah, it is. That is all down. It is really to stop motion. There was the 7th. Was it the Voyage? 7th. There was like 3 or 4, wasn't there? At this time, they did a Sinbad kind of moments. Then of course,
Yeah, there was something. Yeah, there were a few. The Golden something, Sinbad and the Golden Fleece. No,
yes,
not Golden Fleece.
no. Golden Fleece is Jason, isn't it?
That was Jason. Okay,
Jason and
so
the Argonauts and Golden
the
Fleece.
Argonauts, and
Yeah, and then you had ones before it, but but he did it like one we like is Clash of Titans, 1981. That he did that.
My favorite. But he's partial to the skellies. He likes skellies in all his films. The lizard woman here looks like the Medusa.
Used to scare me. Always
yes?
used to scare me.
Oh, the Medusa
Always
would freak me out. Hey, Davey, nice to see you. The Medusa would freak me out. But what was I going to say? Oh, on Saturdays, it was what we would call, the Ray Harryhausen movies in the morning, and then the Irwin Allen. Remember those disaster B movies like Earthquake and the Poseidon Adventure and the Towering Inferno, and they all had Steve McQueen in them, and those were the Irwin Allen. So we would go from Ray Harryhausen to Irwin Allen movies on Saturdays. They were good B, cheesy fun.
Yeah, I think is this our first real kind of B movie?
It's a B movie, yes.
B movie is a lot of fun though. A lot of fun. So when they were like, how can we do fantasy without computers? That is how great I love it when you use your brain that way. It's
get out the clay.
You gotta get out.
And then this guy was like, I can do it. And how great his modeling was, even though it's like rich chunky, you're like clever as.
It's
like
so
the time
clever.
period. It's like, what is the I can't remember, the 1950 something, 58. It's a 1958.
Oh wow! I didn't realize this was that old. Even just watching that trailer.
So yeah, it's when you look at it at that point, you're like, wow. So I've seen worse 80s movies than that.
Yeah, that's actually I would have guessed this
movies
was like,
lately than that.
I would have thought off the trailer this was like an early 70s or something. I did not think 58. I did not think 58 at all.
There we go. All good. Yeah. So a little bit of fun. So we got kind of 2 quite fun rides now. So we got the Budapest Grand Budapest Hotel, and then the 7th Voyage of Sinbad.
2 movies with 2 very unique styles to them.
There you go. That's
That's
what film club is. Yeah.
Yes, we're gonna dig into the artistic styles.
Well, we're jumping through decades, aren't we now?
Yeah, quite a bit.
What we're
kind of back and forth. I want to say this was 2014 Grand Budapest Hotel, something like that. 2015, 14.
2014. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the 7th Voyage of Sinbad is
1958.
Oh, 1958. Oh, you did say that. Sorry.
Yep.
Yeah. So the next one is going to be a Western from the 70s. Hopefully for Daryl.
We'll get it eventually, Daryl. They're on there, I swear.
We'll get there one day.
We don't have. Do we not have? Oh, you put Unforgiven. See, I thought it was The Unforgiven. You do have Unforgiven on here. Okay, so Unforgiven is on here.
It's a different movie.
That's a good one.
Yeah, The Unforgiven.
And I'm just realizing Sergeant York is right underneath Sandy's picture this whole time. I always like when the movie's on that background.
Yeah.
It's a 7th. It is 7th on there.
Yeah, we'll have to see.
That's what I would like to see. Is it on there? Have we got movies?
I usually always try to see what's on there.
I do like to have a look. What's on there? I need to update that. I love it.
Put Avatar on there.
There we go.
Did Avatar make it on there? I didn't see it.
No, I just put things. 2 above Sergeant York is my girlfriend Jay's children.
Is that the one?
Caterpillar. So I personally put that there.
That's awesome.
Because I said, I love that. Now there's movies on there that I don't like, but There's something wrong.
Just made for good background.
They
Oh
do
yeah,
make
Avatar is on the left side there. I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, against was it? We got. So you have to look. You have to like. Ooh,
Oh, we
Yeah,
could
it's a
spend
little
all day
small. I
looking
can't
at
always
this and
see.
straining our
Yeah.
eyes. You need to put this on
One
the big
day
screen.
I should update it just to freak you guys out. One day you'd be like,
I'll notice it immediately with my OCD. I'll find
it. So some of these movies aren't on the list. Like Blazing Saddles is on there behind One Flew Over the
E.T.'s
Cuckoo
not
Nest,
on our
and
list,
that's
is it?
on
No,
there.
E.T. better not be on our
I've never
list.
liked E.T. Even when I was a kid. E.T. just
I don't like
completely
it.
did
You
not
know
click
what?
with me.
E.T. is a movie. Even when I was younger, I've never finished.
I can agree.
I don't know that I've honestly
Never
sat
finished
and watched it
Never.
in full
I've
myself.
watched it all, but I've never done bump straight.
I'll be honest. I don't think I've ever sat.
like-
Yeah, I don't think I've sat and watched it in its entirety. I definitely
Yeah.
haven't done that. And
Yeah.
I'm not even sure if I've watched it in full, even like segmented. I don't
No.
know
Yeah,
that
I
I've seen
think I've
every
done
part
it.
of it.
Yeah, I just like I don't.
Does
really
nothing for
enjoy
me.
it.
Never liked it. Never cared for it.
I don't mind the ride, the ET ride. That was funny, but that was it.
I never did that one. It was on
it's
bikes.
silly. It was
Yeah,
silly. Yeah.
bikes go
Phone
around the circle.
home at the end. You like take a picture. And you're like,
No thanks.
it's weird.
Okay,
80.
who had the Atari game?
I'm very familiar with it because it essentially caused the video game crash. But
Yeah,
I
it's
never
like the
played
worst
it.
game.
Yes, I forgot.
Yeah,
that.
it's
Yes.
considered the worst game of all time.
Yeah.
It is.
Did they dump most of it in a? It's like
Landfill. Yeah.
and people are still going into this landfill because if they get it, it's worth some money because it's.
Oh, is that the case? Yeah, that wouldn't
Yeah.
shock me. Yeah, the whole thing got. I mean, it was a bubble waiting to burst with how. I watched a documentary on this actually not too long ago. That was really interesting. But yeah, it was essentially a bubble that was going to burst, pretty much regardless. But ET was the needle that popped it, I think, or I believe.
That's when. Oh, we can make video games out of movies and just don't give a shit.
And it was just him walking around. I don't even think he did it.
pretty
I
much.
honestly, I think we had that game because my parents were video game junkies before I ever touched a joystick. I mean, seriously, this
No
is where
kidding.
I
That's
came from.
awesome.
And my parents would put us to bed because they wanted to play, and then we'd sneak back down, and they'd be like, "Go to bed, we're playing," and they'd be playing Space Invaders and Missile Command and Asteroids, and we had that. Oh my God, that breakout game with the ball, breaking out the wall and stuff.
Yeah. Mhm.
I love those. I'm sure they're retro online somewhere. If I went to, I think there was like an Atari.
I was just going to say there
arcade
was an
channel.
Atari collection that was just somewhere. I don't know if it was PC Game Pass. I swear
Yeah.
I saw it somewhere recently. I'd have to find it again.
I would do that. That would actually make
Pitfall, all those games. Yeah,
Jay. That would make a fun stream for you.
I do love retro gaming too. I've got to figure out how to get more of those because I collect consoles.
I'll send you a link. I'll
Oh,
send you.
perfect. Because I collect all the retro consoles,
remember
but I
that
just hate setting them up.
that NHL one.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah.
Where we
Okay.
kept beating the Boston Bruins. Yes.
Yeah. it was CPU. They're easy to beat.
There
I'll
was
send you a link. It's got some really good ones.
Yeah,
on there.
please do.
Like,
That'd be awesome.
it had I was like, oh my God, like it had Paperboy. Oh my God, that game's hard.
I used to love Paperboy.
That game is still bloody hard.
Beer Tapper, I think, is what another one used to be called when you were essentially that was a good one. Dig Dug. I used to love all those games. I used to have back in the day like a collection disc for the old original Xbox too. So I always loved retro gaming.
Something? Oh, where you play that like as a helicopter? Is it called Desert Storm?
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about.
Desert
I can't remember the name of it though.
Yeah, like really, that is good. That's one there. I'll send you.
There was one in I'm dating myself now, 1988, because it was for the Olympics, the 1988 Olympics, called like Olympics.
On the NES, yep.
Yes.
I love that one. To this day, I still love it. I have it.
Diving was the best. Like you could make them and you could make do a belly flop from 5 meters or whatever and just like
there was the hurdles, there was clay shooting. I believe
Barcelona '92 when you had to do that.
Yes, there was probably a few of them.
And everybody then cheated with a pencil, and then you got like.
Oh, that's right. That's how you did it. Oh my gosh, now I'm remembering how to do that.
And then we did the hurdles. You had to have you had to get your hands right because you had the pencil
to make them.
And then and you had to get the timing right after we went there.
They had pole vaults. Remember the pole vault?
Yep.
Like you could just that was so much fun. Oh my gosh.
The best one with archery in it. That was it because you couldn't cheat. You had to be good at it.
And then at the end, you picked your national anthem. you know, your national anthem of your country play.
Yeah, that old kind of music. You can't beat
That
those.
old
I love retro
Soviet,
gaming.
the old Soviet Union anthem. I have to look it up online because I can't remember it now, but I just remember somebody was picking the Soviet Union in my family because we had to have Russia versus the USA, and that da, 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 that real, you know, minor key, whatever that song was, and then there was German. Oh my God, it's all coming back to me now. That's what we would do. We would just pick different countries to hear the goofy different national anthems.
There you
At
go.
the
Maybe
end.
we should
Well,
do
it's
it.
just that old style of video game music too, that just the beeps
Yeah.
essentially. Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, just
It's
four
so
notes.
good.
Exactly. Exactly. Oh my gosh.
But it got the song across. You always knew what it was.
Yeah. All good. All good. Anyway, guys, what you got coming up? Going on soon?
For me, nothing crazy. I am working on. Well, first I have to finish watching Frankenstein because we had to put it on pause the other night because my wife and I were both just a little bit tired that night.
It's like over 2 hours, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a long one too. I got it.
Every time we go
halfway.
Every time we're like, should we watch it? We look at the time and we're like,
yeah.
Oh no, we just put the kid to bed.
And that's
we're going to be
literally
past 11 o'clock.
That's literally what happened with us. And we sat down on the couch, like got the kid to bed, did a few little things we had to do with our free time, and then it was like, all right, sit down and watch a movie. Within like half an hour, I could hear her snoring. I made it about another half, and not because of the movie, just because of pure exhaustion. So like another half hour, I was out like a light. So I have to go back and finish it. I got about an hour through. So finish that. Work on a
review on Arc Raiders.
Yeah,
are you playing that?
Yeah, and that's kind of been the other thing taking up my free time is I can't stop playing Arc Raiders.
Are you playing with anyone?
Yeah, so me and some of my friends like that I've grown up with have all been playing. So I've been off stream playing it. It's kind of been, we haven't really had a game where we've all been like hooked and playing like this in probably a couple years. So it's been nice to kind of just get the boys back together. And we've been playing till like 1 a.m. We've been having late nights playing. So between all that, the kid and trying to make some videos, the schedule has been pretty packed. So at some point, some streaming as well, finish off Spider-Man finally. But right now, Arc Raiders has my attention. At least in terms of gaming. Then real life has my attention every other hour of the day.
Sandy.
Well, I just thought maybe
this is
there we go. Look at the mustache on the guy. Look at that.
Oh, brilliant.
Brilliant. Oh my God.
Ready? Go.
It takes me back. It definitely takes me back. Well, because as today is Sunday instead of Saturday, I got work coming up. So I gotta go to work tomorrow. Nothing planned this week for at least a few days. I gotta do some stuff around the house, do a lot of stuff at work. Getting near Christmas, gotta make my Christmas list.
Yeah, it's coming quick. Time. Gotta get the gift cards for everybody. Make it easy.
Easy peasy. No, I got shopping to do.
Well, first I gotta drag the tree up from the attic and all that stuff. So all the decorations.
Oh, Christmas decorations are up.
Oh, you already did
it?
Yeah.
At least it's over with for you. I still gotta do it.
Yeah, I didn't do anything. I just sat down. I'm not allowed to touch.
Oh, there you go.
So that's it.
I usually just I'm the same. I'm usually just the pack mule. I bring it down from the attic, and she does the rest.
That's it. Yeah, like that's why.
Was there a 6-foot tall nutcracker on the agenda for your house? I heard of
that. Oh my God! Yes,
I heard a rumor.
No, like there was somewhere. I don't know what store it was, but it's near you, Sandy. There's like this nutcracker, and she was like, "Do you think Sandy could bring that?" I was like, "How? What?" And she bring the nutcracker. Went, how big is she? Like 6 foot. And I was like, "Are you kidding?" And she was like, "Can't it be done?" She's got no way to do it. And I was like, "No,
we've gotta find a way.
Like,
no, we're gonna find a way."
This is my boyfriend. Like,
he doesn't talk much.
Yeah. Like, what? No,
and he wears a strange uniform.
And I was like, and then she was like, "What about if we went over?" And I went, "How would you get it over? There's no way you would have to get it shipped." And she was like, and like, no, so he was very disappointed. And like, apparently I didn't even see it. She wouldn't even tell me the price. So yeah, it must have been something. Yeah, it was a
nutcrackers are a thing. They are in vogue. Like I think this Halloween skeletons were definitely the theme. I think this Christmas nutcrackers are definitely.
Have you been seeing those giant like massive skeletons in your neck of the woods, Sandy? Because over here, that's been like all the rage the past 2 seasons.
Oh yeah.
I don't know where they came from. They're like literally like 15 feet tall. They're insanely big. I don't know where people are storing these things. I don't know how they're putting them together, but they've been like all the rage around here the past 2
Oh, so
Halloween.
you too. Yeah. When I was doing my walk through Georgetown, a couple of the houses had them outside the row houses, like, 15 feet tall. And like 2 years ago, there was like a headless horseman near me that was that tall. And, he had his head in his hand and, whatever, and a pumpkin on his head and the head in his hand, and it looked kind of cool. And then last year, there were some that looked like Dementors. And yes, this year, the skeleton, same thing. Huge, huge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, every time I see one, I think, where the hell are you storing that thing? I can't imagine. But hey, if it's your thing, feel free, I guess. Not for me.
It's good to be festive. It's good to be festive.
Now and again, I'll be the Grinch.
I'm not doing it until the little one's old enough to want it. Until then, I'm taking these years off. I'm not climbing ladders for lights. I'm not doing any of it until I have to.
I have to every time. Yeah.
Nope, not doing.
I'm always up a ladder. I'm like just getting directed there. No, bit to the left. Does it make a difference? Yes, it does.
You're tall. You're tall. That's helpful in itself. I had to pull out a ladder today just to like fix a blind that is not that high, but I had to pull a ladder out just to fix the blind.
In the house stuff is easy. I'm fine with that. It's the outside hanging lights that I'm
I have to do
with.
it.
That I'm not climbing those ladders. No shot. Not going high in the air for
the
lights.
thing is,
that
I
I
have to clean it all. I get
half.
told I have to clean it all. I always clean it, but like it's like no, you have to clean everything that is on beforehand. I'm like, it's got lights, but but then it glows more. Okay.
It does. It glows prettier if it's clean.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I get told my orders, and I just nod. Yes. Okay. Easy life. Yes. Okay. But yeah. So myself, I'm going to play that the last Caretaker. That's got me addicted.
I saw that on Steam. That's a new one.
Yeah.
Right? I saw that on Steam. It looked interesting.
It's quite interesting. It's very interesting. It's very it's hard because you have to manage your power outlet at different stations, but it's very like the graphics on it is really good. It's got this very good lore on it, and I've just powered up the ship, not only like 50%. We're trying to work it out, and it's quite good because chat's been helping me. I'm like, what do I do? And it's really good. It's like, I can see that being a good addictive game. Unfortunately, it's only single player. Because I think that game would work great if they did like a co-op game on it. Like you could have because you're a robot, like you had like 2 or 3 or more like helpers, because you need kind of people in different places, only to make it easier, mostly. But I'm gonna play that game. That was interesting. I keep on saying I'm gonna get Arc Raiders. I keep on saying this. I need to give it
it's honestly a lot of fun.
Is it? Yeah.
It's PvEVP, so it's mostly players versus environment, but there is, it's the game started off in the first week or so of I guess it's only been out for like a week and a half. Started off with a lot of the players kind of coming together to fight the AI in the game, because the AI system they used is actually, or the NPC system they used is actually machine learning AI. So they're constantly learning and adapting to the gameplay. It's a really interesting concept, honestly, as opposed to just standard programmed lines of sight, how they respond if they see you, the things they'll do. They're actually trying to evolve and figure out how to beat the players better. So this became a very friendly game at first, but over the last couple of days, I'm noticing the PvP side of it is increasing, and some people are kind of baiting you into thinking they're friendly, and then as soon as you turn your back, just taking you out and stealing all your loot. So it's kind of evolving into a bit of like a war zone type of thing. It's a lot of fun. It's a really interesting concept, an interesting game, and me and my buddies have just not been able to stop playing it.
Oh yeah. Maybe I'll have to dive into that. But yeah, it's all good. But yes, from that I might be busy, but then got some few days off, so we're gonna have to have a good. But yeah, everybody, I hope you've enjoyed our Sunday, Remembrance Sunday war movie, kind of, I suppose, for Sergeant York. Had a go on. I know a lot of people in chat, it was one of your favorites as well. But unfortunately for Daryl, no Western. We got an Eastern.
Not yet. Not yet.
We got an
Yes.
Eastern.
No
That's
Western
it.
yet.
When it
Not
happens,
yet.
it's going to be like 5 Westerns in a row just for Daryl.
Yeah, well, we could do that. We could eliminate everything else, and that'll be it. And that's it. Less. But everybody, have a great rest of your Sunday. Well done to the Patriots, I'm guessing, for winning, and the
yes,
and the Ravens,
And the
Did they
Ravens.
win?
And the Ravens as
Ding,
And
well.
the Ravens.
Yep.
There we go.
And a nice
everybody
draw for your team.
Yeah, oh, boring 0-0. Again, it's bottom of the near enough bottom of the league as well.
Yeah,
is
those
terrible.
don't always settle very well.
Yeah.
That's a hard pill to
You're
swallow.
right, yeah. But everybody, have a great rest of the rest of whatever's left of your weekend.
Yes.
And we'll see you next week and possibly next Sunday as well. But we'll sort it out and you'll let you know in the chat. Have a great one. Bye for now, everyone.